Good evening and welcome to episode 4 of The Right View. And let me tell you, this is definitely by far going to be the best one so far. As always, I'm joined by Mr. Jack Dawkin and by Zach Walton. How you doing, boys?
I'm good.
Yeah, sound kind of complain.
It's been hectic, but it's going to be worth it.
A lot of work to get this done. We've worked all week to try and get this done, but I think we're definitely going to nail it on the head. So listen, what this show's about is not just getting Tommy and Enrique together to have that chat. They've never spoken before. Two massive figureheads of the patriotic movements, not just in the UK but in the US. What we wanted to do is we wanted to get people on to have get a first-hand account of what's been going on in places like Washington, what the feel is around the patriotic movements in the US, and to get those individuals like ourselves that we can talk about the British side of it, get them to talk about the US. So what we're going to do for the next half an hour to 40 minutes is we're going to get variations of lads on from the Proud Boys, not just from the Proud Boys in the US, but for the Proud Boys Britannia in the UK, to give us an idea of what's going on, how they're feeling in the country, where they see this going. A lot of information's come out this evening about what Trump's doing and how far he's getting with his legal team. So it'd be interesting to see. Boys, how do you see things going tonight?
I see. Well, go on, Jack.
Yeah, stop being polite. Go on.
I think it's just going to be a roller coaster of laughs and information that people wouldn't otherwise know, especially the first-hand accounts of what happened at the Million MAGA March. I've chatted to a few of the lads already, and they've got some good stories to tell.
Because you've had one of the Proud Boys come over, and you've spent some time with him, and what a guy he is. And tell us a bit more about that when that happened.
So that was last year. He came over for his birthday.
I think it was beginning this year, wasn't it? March.
Was it this year?
I think just before the lockdown, wasn't it? Because everyone were a bit wary about the lockdown, weren't we?
Yes, it was. I'm just losing track of time. So much happens.
2020 is one of those years. Well, listen, let's start this off.
Basically, I just want to. What I want people to see and learn who the Proud Boys actually are, because all you see is the media's thing of them, and they've done all this with our movements over here, the ADL, all that. They smashed them up by just labeling them what they wanted. So I wanted the public on both sides of the ocean to understand who these people are and why they do what they do.
Yeah. They get the same treatment as we are. I mean, in America, you have this patriotic movement that came together in the light of all the drama that's happening. And what the media have done, like they do in this country, is they try and just paint a picture of these individuals, even though the collective group that we've even spoken to, they're from all walks of life.
We've seen it just recently in our media, haven't we, where Trump is linked to the Proud Boys, and the Proud Boys all of a sudden are this far-right racist group, when they're far from it. They're a mix of all cultures, all religions, all backgrounds, as we know.
Well, just normal, everyday working class people, and they're all the same. They both.
We've got to say these lads are dealing with a lot more than we are at the minute. I mean, this is fundamental to the future of the United States. What's going on at the moment? How important it is that Trump gets re-elected.
Fundamental to the future of the Western world, I'd say. The Western world.
It's like a domino effect. If it falls in America, it potentially could fall all over Europe.
Yeah.
Well, if them can cheat communism into play, then what kind of precedent does that set?
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly that. Well, listen, I think it's about time we got some of the lads on. We're going to introduce them individually. We've got quite a few. I think we've got 12 Proud Boys for tonight.
We've got 12 at the moment, with more coming on.
Bring them all in. Come on, let's have a party.
let's get it on. So listen, we're first going to introduce Jay. Jay's a Proud Boy from Michigan. He was on the ground in Washington. Let's get him onto the stream. How we doing, Jay?
Good. How you doing, boys?
Very well, very well. So Jay, just quickly for the viewers, where you're from, how long you've been part of the Proud Boys, sort of a little intro.
I'm Jay Netanyahu. I joined up with the Proud Boys early this year when lockdown started happening. I live in Michigan, Motor City Proud Boys. I got into it because our governor locked us down. We had some of the most stringent, radical lockdown measures. And that's how I met a lot of the boys. They convinced me to come on. I liked what they had to say. I liked their beliefs. The core tenets were in line with my own. And so I was more than happy to join up.
Yeah. What would you say the Proud Boys represents? What are they?
Well, we say it out loud all the time. We are proud Western chauvinists. People hear chauvinism and they always think male chauvinism and, you know, misogyny and all of that horrible stuff. And that's not the case at all. It means that we are very proud of the Western world. We believe that the West is the best. Western culture is the best Western culture. And that's really what it goes by. It's Judeo-Christian values, fundamental human liberties that are granted by God, not by government, things of that nature.
Yeah, because we see, if we look at the other side of the coin with Antifa and these nut jobs, it's the complete opposite.
Oh, yeah.
What do you, if you had to explain it really quickly, what do they go by? What are they trying to achieve? What do they want?
Well, the way I see them, they are very much authoritarian communists. They are collectivists in that they believe that everything should be equal outcomes. They don't believe in equal opportunity. They want everybody to end in the same place. And the only way you have that is with authoritarian controls, rigid structure, and essentially it just ends with everybody being equally impoverished, much like the USSR, Venezuela, Cuba, any number of socialist states that have fallen into the same pattern of authoritarian communism.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if we look here in the United Kingdom, we have organisations that hide behind slogans to prevent them from sort of looking as an extreme organisation. Antifa hide behind stand up to racism in this country. I'm guessing this is type of situation with Black Lives Matter. Are you seeing a lot of young indoctrinated kids getting involved with these these extreme groups?
Absolutely, and the big trick with that is it's an old Maoist tactic, and it's you make your slogan or your title something that you can't disagree with. You know, nobody's going to say, no, Black lives don't matter, because if you believe that everyone's life matters, then obviously Black lives fall into that. So once you have that statement you can't disagree with, same thing with being anti-fascist. Well, I'm against anti-fascism, so you must be fascist.
Yeah.
Once you play those semantic games with them, you're doomed to their circular logic.
Yeah. Do you think that this situation, if just a quick question, if Trump doesn't succeed, which I'm sure he will, but if he doesn't, what do you think would happen in the United States with groups like Antifa? Would they turn on Biden and just start again, or do you think they would calm down if Biden?
I don't think they would calm down for a second. Something we've heard over and over again is they honestly believe that Trump is this fascist tyrant. And they think it's very hard to overthrow a fascist tyrant. It is difficult to overthrow someone who is fundamentally strong. Joe Biden doesn't show strength. He shows a frail old man. It's much easier to overthrow a frail old man than it is somebody who has strength, an actual male father figure like Trump.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, because if you look at what's been going on with the fraud and everything else, we're in a position where it's clear there's evidence that this man has colluded with foreign countries, has profited massively from it financially for his family. Biden, his son Biden, Hunter, sorry. And I think it's clear that if the New World Order wanted a puppet, then Biden's your man.
Oh, absolutely. You want to talk about corrupt crony swamp creatures? Biden is definitely top of the list. 5 decades profiting his family behind the curtain. Now that we get a peek of it, mass media tells us don't look at it. It doesn't matter. It's all fake. But these are the same people who pushed 4 years of Russian collusion, and Trump is a Russian asset from the 80s, like the USSR. Run away. Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy how it turns out. Well, listen, I want to get, we're getting a lot of Proud Boys on tonight. I do want to start one of our own. The organisation Proud Boys Britannia has been around for a little while now. I know that they came to light when we're in the height of all the demos we've done in the United Kingdom for Tommy and for other reasons. And I want to bring Brandon in. We had a little bit of problem with his internet. We're going to hope that he can be on camera as well, but we're going to switch to audio if there becomes a problem with hearing him. But let's bring him in. How you doing?
How you doing, mate? You hear me all right?
Yeah, your internet's good. Happy days.
Yeah. So happy days, mate.
So, Brandon, if we look at you and we look at your man from the US, you're looking in the same type of like outfits. It's a great organisation. How did it come to it happen in the United Kingdom? Give us a bit of background on the role.
Well, we started in 2018. We split from PBUK. I won't go too much into that. But a lot of the core tenets that we share with the US are exactly the same. For example, reinstating the spirit of Western chauvinism back into Europe. You know, we believe in minimal government, maximum freedom. We're very much pro free speech as well. We glorify the entrepreneur. We venerate the housewife. We're anti-political correctness. And we don't think that any race is superior to another. But at the same time, no one should be made to feel guilty for who they are. And the transgressions of your ancestors are not your fault.
We lost him a little bit there. Brandon, do you want to try with just the audio, mate?
I heard back there.
I heard all that.
I heard him just.
Oh, okay.
It's your Danny, man. Turn your Wi-Fi on.
It could be me. It could be me. But listen, how long has the organisation been running for?
Well, we established ourselves in 2018. We've grown rapidly since then. We've now got near 3,000 followers on Telegram, so it's swelling. There are chapters in the US, and I mean no disrespect to my American brothers when I say this, but there are chapters in the US that have existed for twice as long as us that are still sorting out problems that we'd ironed out many, many years ago, you know?
Yeah, good. So what?
I'll ask a question, yeah?
Go on, Jack. Jump in.
Have you got local chapters as well in the Britannia, yeah?
Well, the way that we have it is it's basically split into a regional system. Now, Britannia is very much the only chapter in the UK, the only officially sanctioned chapter in the UK. But within that, we have regional sub-chapters. And this helps to maintain a level of not bureaucracy, but accountability and structure, and means that we don't actually suffer the same sort of fate that other groups in the UK have before, with splintering and infighting. We have regionals, so we have Ireland, we have the north of England, the south of England, Scotland, the same way that the United Kingdom is split up, I guess you could say. So we very much have it at that level. We have a regional captain, and they answer to the national president, who's elected.
So if any listeners wanted to join, how would they go about this?
Well, I mean, you'd have to find us first. As Gavin said himself, part and parcel of joining the Proud Boys in the UK is knowing how to find them. And as someone who's done a lot of the vetting myself, we only really want the cream of the crop of the Patriots, you know? We've got guys, you know, all kinds of guys, different walks of life. We really want the best of the best. Particularly in the United Kingdom, we have no freedom of speech. Now, we don't want to be taking on people that are going to put us, our families in danger, and our reputation in danger. So with that, I'd say, if you can find us, take a good crack at it, you know? But I'm not going to sit here and tell porky pies, because there's about a 10% chance you're going to get into vetting, and even less percentage of success after that. So we're very rigorous.
Well, I kind of blame you, mate. Obviously, watching what happened to the EDL and all this stuff with infiltration, you've got people being paid to stir things up. You've got and people just are with different agendas. So yeah, no, I don't blame you for the way you're doing that. Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, why would you open your arms to infiltration? Why would you open your arms to the types of, you know, Antifa type of individuals and all the police and everything else? When if you had, you know, you want a collective group of real strong men, patriot men, that's the way to do it. I think that's a great idea. I think it's the best way to do it. Just want to touch on you two. Obviously, opposite ends of the, you know, one's from the UK, one's from America. Let's talk about the problems that we get through Antifa. So, Antifa myself have tried to destroy my name. They've tried to find out where I work. They've tried to do everything. Go to America first. How bad is the problem with Antifa in terms of those issues with you guys?
Oh, in America, Antifa is incredibly organized. They love taking our pictures. My face is out all over Twitter. We have tons of guys whose faces are out there. They go after our license plate numbers to run them through the DMV, find home addresses. If they get your phone number, they'll call you. If they find out where you work, they'll call your boss. You know, they will go to any lengths to not just destroy your name, but your reputation, your right to conduct business. You know, they do everything they can to fundamentally take you out of society. And they're incredibly organized at it, especially in places like DC and New York and California, Portland, you know, these strongholds where there's tons of them just running around with their cameras out all day long.
Yeah, it's back to the UK. I mean, we've spoken just before we came on air last couple of days. We've obviously spoken about the fact that, you know, did you want to show your face? Didn't you want to show your face? There was legitimate, real reasons to why some people didn't want to do that work. Obviously, how bad has the problem been for you guys in the Britannia?
Well, you know, we've got, as I said, guys from all different walks of life. You know, guys that are in the services, guys that have been in the services. I myself have been targeted on more than one occasion by Antifa just for holding the views that I do. You also have to bear in mind, relative to the size of the UK, it's a lot easier for these people, you know. It's a lot easier for them to pinpoint you. We're a country the size of what, Michigan?
Yeah.
So if you want to look for us and ruin our lives because you don't understand what we're about, then they'll find you and they'll do it. They've tried to do it to me, and it's not a risk that I want to take again.
Yeah. Because we find in this country, and I'm sure Brandon knows this, but when you try and debate these individuals, their tactic is always that they don't want to talk. We always find that the reason behind that is because they don't know what they're talking about, and if they did try and have a conversation, they look like idiots. In the United States, is it the same? They're not willing to talk. They're not willing to discuss. Not that you'd want to too much, but when you do try and have that conversation about Trump or whatever, does it work?
Very rarely. What you usually find with the larger crowds of them, if you try and talk to the one normal person who seems sensible and they want to be moderate about it, you'll find one of the more zealotous Antifa folk pull them away and say, no, don't talk to them. They're wrong. Don't talk to them. The whole problem with the left right now is that fundamentally anything that disagrees with them can't be heard, because if it is, any logic can topple their arguments and they lose following.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly the same here. We found with the Brexit situation here that they tried, it was the right start of the referendum. They tried everything to hide behind these stand up to racism posters, and to try everything to try and do, you know, take someone's livelihood and destroy everything. But we're finding that, you know, organizations like the Proud Boys, you're getting a lot of coverage, so a lot of people are starting to wake up to the lies and such. Do you find that I don't want to go to Washington yet because we have other people on, but do you find that you're being loved a lot more now because of some of the riots and everything else? They see you as a resistance to this chaos?
In America, definitely. It's one of those things that people have started seeing us as Antifa has gotten stronger, and these radical leftists have gotten more hardcore. People see us as the ones who are standing up. We're the ones who are actually willing to go out into the streets and defend regular people who, you know, just disagree with these crazy leftists. It's not even that they're always Trump supporters or they're always staunch conservatives. It's even the moderates and just the people who say, no, I don't want socialism. No, we don't need this. They get attacked, and they see us as a symbol of strength.
Yeah, fantastic. Just going back to the UK, I mean, we are going to bring some other people in a minute. I just want to finish off. Where do you see you guys in the UK, Proud Boys Britannia? Where do you see it going in the next 5 years? What's the goal? What do you want to do?
Well, the thing is, I would say that we don't really have any political end goal, you know? If you're a vegan, your whole ideology relies on the fact that everyone else in the world should turn vegan. Otherwise, you're not going to achieve your end goal, right? Over here, it's a little bit different. Like I said, we want the cream of the crop. Essentially, I know I've got, and I'm not going to quote exact numbers of members, but I know I've got a good handful of brothers, both in this country and in the US as well, who I can rely on at any time. Who, if I put in the work, I'll be there for them. They'll be there for me. Antifa don't have that. They'll never have that. So in 5 years' time, I see myself still very much a member of Proud Boys Britannia. I'm very proud to say I'm a 4th degree member. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. You know, the political climate, and especially with COVID, things are a little bit strange at the moment. But if the past 2 years are anything to go by, we're just going to go from strength to strength, you know?
Absolutely, I don't doubt that, and I know that Tommy's very very keen to do whatever we can as our group to help you guys grow as much as you can. So, listen, Brandon, I want to thank you for coming on. We're going to jump on to the other Proud Boys now. Listen, thank you so much, buddy, and if you don't mind, we'll have you on again.
Perfect, mate. Uhuru.
Right. So what we're going to do is let's bring the chill No idea what happened there. No idea. But we're back.
You're back.
Listen, you're never going to get it to go perfect, but here we go. So listen, Brandon, thanks for coming on, bud. I'll speak to you soon.
No problem, mate. Take care.
Right, so sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. We had a bit of a glitch there, but let's move on. So we're now going to jump in with, let's get Bill on. Bill's also a Proud Boy. Let's find out where Bill's from. How you doing, Bill?
Hey, what's up, brothers?
How you doing? Bill, give us an intro, mate. Where are you from? How long you been part of the organisation from and stuff like that?
I'm from North Carolina. I've been in for 2 years, roughly, give or take. What else?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to bring the rest of the lads in. Let's just get a group in. Who we got? I know that. Right, here he is. How we doing?
What's happening, man?
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Hooroo.
Hooroo.
Quick intro if you can, mate. Where are you from?
Jeremy, aka the Noble Beard, out of South Carolina.
Oh, cool. Nice to
Been
see
in the
you.
organization since about 2017.
Nice. Right, let's make sure we get the rest on. We can do about, I think, another 2. Let's get the goat on.
The goat.
The goat. How are we doing?
How's it going? Good, brother. Good.
Right, I wanna get into this because this is what it's gonna be a big part of the show. So Tommy's gonna be coming on in probably about 20 minutes, I would say, something like that. So we've got 20 minutes to have this conversation. What I want to do, I want to talk about Washington. I want to start by the call that came in to get people to come to Washington. We have it here. I was when we did the protest here, I'd have to go online and try and entice a lot of people to come on, come to the demos. How did you guys do it? I mean, if you want to start, I don't know. You want to start, Bill? How did you know about it?
I'm having a little issue right here. I lost the stream there. There we go. Okay, ask that question again, please, bro.
Yeah. So obviously, in regards to Washington, when did the call go out that everyone needed to be in Washington for that day?
So I think we had about 5 days to prepare for that, and we were able to rally up about 300 brothers in a matter of 5 days in true fashion of unity. It was glorious.
The numbers were huge, weren't they?
On our side, yeah, for about 5 days to prep for this and then to pull guys from all over this country. That says a lot about our brotherhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Noble Beard, were you there in Washington?
Absolutely. Yep. I was right there the entire time. Kind of trying to watch out for watch Enrique's back. He's a target to the left, man. They would want nothing better. He'd be a trophy to them, you know. So
same way Tommy is. Same way.
Yeah,
Tommy
exactly. They you know the way they go after Tommy over there across the pond, they want Enrique the same way over here because he doesn't fit their narrative. So you know, he crushes the narrative actually, and that's kind of one of the great things about having him as our chairman, man. They've got no ammo at that point, and no matter how hard they try, we just counter him with he's not white. You know, so so yeah. So the call came out basically, and we gathered. I mean, the effort and the sacrifice that these guys put in to come out to Washington the way they did. At the last minute, got a call. Everybody jumped on board, booked flights. Now remember, we're self-funded. Nobody pays for our stuff like Soros and all them. Nobody's got a bail fund for the Proud Boys. We do this on our own. Everybody paid their way. Nobody sponsors us. And the effort that these guys put in to jump into action and to come up there, it warmed my heart, man. This is a true brotherhood. This is what we're about, and everybody wanted to make sure that their brothers were safe. So that's why everybody showed up the way they did.
Because I was talking to your man Jay up there. I was talking to about before. We had a visual of massive Trump supporters. Some stood somewhere, and then you had the Proud Boys obviously shouting, and you had like a parting of the sea to let the Proud Boys in, and then it was just pure love for the Proud Boys.
It was like we just won the Super Bowl, man. It was like we just won the Super Bowl and we were walking into doing the parade from the Super Bowl or something, man. It was crazy. You guys know we've never gotten that much that kind of love from the general public before, man.
No, nothing like that.
Why do you think that is? What's changed in a sense?
Goat, you want to answer that, Goat? What do you think?
It's just the fact that people see us coming out there and we're willing to stand up for what we believe in, and it gives them some hope that they can do the same. And so they see us as a rallying cry, something that they can stand behind and understand that there are people here in the United States that still believe in the Constitution, the things that we believe in as Americans. And so it's really easy once they see us actually doing it to get behind us.
I can add something to that.
Go on, Bill.
Well, just the fact now, the methods of the far left and the doxers, and how brother was saying earlier, how they try to destroy our livelihoods and everything around our lives. Well, in a situation like the Million MAGA March, there were probably 1 million people out there that were there and a part of that. And when these stories about far right extremism and white supremacy that are typically written about us, the common everyday people, the voters who went out and voted for Trump and came to support Trump in this Million MAGA March, they are now they're being written. The same things are written about everyone that attended that march. So now they're able to kind of look at the stories written about us and say, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I was at that march. I'm not a white supremacist just because I'm a Republican or a conservative. So I think their narrative got completely hustled and destroyed on Saturday because people are seeing through all of the lies.
Can I give a quick insight from the way I've seen it from the UK? I was awake all night that night watching it. I just couldn't. I
think he left. There he is.
Sorry. Can I just say, remove me for a bit? Try and speed it up, getting through the guys. You guys,
is Vito in yet? Is Vito trying to get in?
Vito's waiting to come in because the back room is completely full. No one can get in there. They're just saying.
Call me in the middle of the interview. So
I'll jump up for a bit. Get through the guys as fast as possible. One of the things I've got is when you guys were coming back in the bus, I was getting told about the way you had to come together as one big group. Like it was explained like a Roman legion. You held the backpack of the guy in front of you, held the man at the side of you, and went through that big crowd. What did that feel like? I mean, that's got to be electric to see the crowd part and have that happen.
Yeah, like I said, man, it felt like we just won the Super Bowl or something, man. People were out there just cheering, screaming for the Proud Boys, and we've never felt that anything like that. I mean, it was like you said, it was electric, man. We've never felt that kind of love before. Never felt that kind of love.
We had the same.
I'll just give you is my view from the UK when I watched that full day completely until about 6 a.m. the next day, and this is how you went to the march. You had the Antifa saying they were going to turn up, fight us, and obviously nobody turned up on that time, right? So I was watching, and everyone started dispersing, and what the world's seen is Antifa come out then, and we're seeing them. They pushed that old guy over, squirting stuff on him. I seen them attacking a young girl with her partner, an old couple that took the flag off them, and the Proud Boys came back and give them their own medicine back. That's why the world has totally changed their views over that last weekend.
Yeah, we were all back at the hotels trying to get food. We had been starving and thirsty. Nobody, there was no bathrooms available for us. So we had been marching all day. We all had to piss. We all had to eat. We all had to drink, right? We get back to the hotel. All of a sudden, people start saying, we start getting messages in our comms channels saying, hey, there's 3 of us. There's 3 guys trapped in a convenience store. They're throwing explosives in. I'm seeing videos of them pushing young lady, women and children around. And that's what we sprung into action like Batman, man. We came out there just absolutely wiped. Yeah, we wiped the streets.
The full world.
Were you at Texas Roadhouse with on that day?
Yeah, me and Goat were down at Texas Roadhouse. We were in Maryland. We had been trying to get a safe hotel because we knew ours was compromised. And that's when we got the call from the others over the comms channel. And we turned around from Chili's after we got booted from Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Proud of you, boy.
Yeah, we rolled in a little bit late. We got there about the time Vigo and Noble Beard here dispersed the majority of the crowd. But we rolled in, we walked in, which was, I'm not going to lie to you, it was pretty scary because at that point, we didn't know for sure what was going on, what we were about to walk into. We got there, it was kind of a party, which was fun. And then we got to lead a bunch of Patriots around DC for the rest of the evening and allow them to have a great old time and celebrate their freedoms. I'm not going to say I missed out on the party to start with, but it was a good night all in all.
Yeah.
And I think it's a statement as well from the way that we saw it here, is that we saw a statement. I mean, let's be clear with what's going on in my eyes, is that, leading up to the election day, you had clearly enough evidence to support that this guy was definitely not able to take the office of president. His son is is corrupt as him. They're taking millions and millions of pounds off different countries around the world. And I think what we saw in Washington, especially when I saw, because I even got goosebumps when I saw Trump roll through that crowd with his armored trucks and everything else, and put his feet and the excitement. That was really, I think, a day for the history books for America, surely.
And that was early in the day. That was when the crowds were small.
Yeah, in the morning time.
Yeah. That right there, just that march alone should give everyone enough evidence to see. You couldn't gather that many Biden supporters if you gave them a free plane ticket to get to DC. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it just wouldn't happen, and it just proved right there. Not to mention the countless Trump train support rallies that were going on with the vehicles driving everywhere. They, like the city I live in, they have a giant circle that goes around as the highway, the expressway is a giant circle that goes around. That thing was stocked full. It's 3 lanes wide of nothing but Trump supporters doing 35 miles an hour. I mean, the evidence is out there. You know what I mean? The evidence is out there on both ends. There's the evidence that there's more Trump supporters and more Trump voters than there are Biden voters. That's there. But then all the evidence of the corruption of the stolen election is there too. And the fact that we even have to be in this situation in the year 2020 with the primitive voting system that they're using. I mean, I was kind of trying to explain it yesterday. I can order McDonald's from my phone and track the order the entire way as they pick it up, what street they're on. But I can't track my vote. And nobody can track their votes.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
I'll tell you what. Hey, the fact that we have to go out here and stand against commies in the street, and the police departments, the police forces aren't stopping them because their municipalities and their leadership are telling them not to, that's unfathomable to me. That blows my mind, that these officers that swear an oath to the Constitution here in the United States are more, it seems as if they're more worried about their paychecks. So when do they draw the line? When do they decide that enough is enough before that kind of tyranny is at their doorstep? That's what blows my freaking mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we saw it there in DC. The cops, if they were on any side, they stood by as far as us went. But as far as the regular Patriots went, there's evidence. You can watch them. They were literally turning them into the mob. That's on TV. So we can talk about all the things that we did, but every American person saw that. Yeah. They saw that. And that's the biggest point that I take away from DC.
Amen. Well, listen, we haven't got much time because Tom's going to be on soon. Listen, lads, I'm going to say a big thank you to you guys. Has any of you guys, I'm getting some questions in here. Any of you guys got any YouTube channels or anything you can push out for people to see what you guys are doing? Is there a Proud Boys YouTube channel or anything they can subscribe to?
Nah, YouTube, they ask us off of YouTube all the time. The only platforms that we're allowed left are Telegram or Parler. So you can always follow. Like you can follow our big account is at the Proud Boys on Parler. You can follow Enrique, if you want, if you want to follow him, he's not as exciting as the Proud Boys channel, though. He's at Noble Lead.
ProudBoysUSA.com.
Yeah, ProudBoysUSA.com. Usually our at names are the same on Parler as they are Telegram.
At Vigo Carpathian.
Yeah, and at Noble Beard, and so yeah, just follow us. Those are the only platforms we really have left.
I don't exist anywhere.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, that's exactly the same as us. We're only allowed Telegram and Parler too.
Yeah.
Won't let us on. Won't let us on nothing.
Tom got kicked off. When Tom got kicked off Facebook, he could literally go live and get 25, 30,000 people watching him like that. It was crazy, and that's what we're seeing with organizations like the Proud Boys. People know that they love too much, and the big tech companies know that the average American will look at you guys, see you as a resistance, see you as someone that's standing up for them and their morals and everything. And that's why the big tech companies. We're seeing a difference, though. We're seeing some of they're going after the big tech companies. Mm-hmm. How much it's going to make a difference? They got too much money. Money talks.
At this point, it won't. At this point, it won't. So we had to create our own areas, our own echo chambers, as they call it. And all that's going to do is to divide the nation even farther, because you're not allowed any discourse. But they're not going to give us a platform where we can defend ourselves against the lies and accusations that are said about us. That's why they deplatform us, because they want to take away our ability to defend ourselves, because they don't want pictures of Enrique on there. On Facebook, every time his face gets on Facebook, or you even say the word Proud Boys on Facebook, it's an automatic 30-day ban. And that's because people out there.
That's me got a 30-day ban. I've just put this all over Facebook.
Exactly, man. I mean, it's the ultimate censorship, because they need to push their lies. They need to push their narrative. And if we counter their narrative, that's where the problem comes in. So that's why they ban us. That's why we're not allowed on anything. We can't even have payment processors. Enrique's been, the dude's been kicked off every payment processing. I had my merchant website shut down because Right Wing Death Squad apparently offended someone, even though, it's just a troll. You know what I mean? It just, it offended someone. So they shut my stuff down. So just come to Parler, come to Telegram, and that's where free speech exists.
A lot of our guys that follow Tommy, a lot of the people that are involved, it's all to do with sort of Telegram and Parler. So listen, Jay, I'm going to Noble Beard, I'm going to keep you on for a minute. Everyone else, you three, thank you so much, Jay, for coming on. Everyone else, thank you so much. And I'm hoping in the future, lads, if you want to come back on and have a chat, it'd be fantastic. All right.
Anytime.
Sure, thank you so much.
Yes, lads, you go down on the right side of history. Don't worry about that.
Oh, definitely. Right. Let's cheers, Bill. Take care. Jay, take care, buddy. Right, let's get a couple of lads that have been waiting in the background. McRib, I believe, is here. McRib, how we doing?
Sir, how you doing?
How we doing? And Scottish is also here.
Scottish,
you there?
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Yes, how we doing, mate? You all right? You good?
Doing good,
that's
doing good.
That's the man that takes all the sexy pictures of Enrique.
That's what I heard. I heard his personal model. Listen, one of the things I want to just say just before, because I totally forgot about this, just want to thank Katie Hopkins for pushing out this link for tonight. She's I know she knows Enrique personally, and we love the woman in this country. I know Tom loves her as well.
She's solid.
She is. She's incredible. And also our main man, Vito.
What's up, boys?
How you doing?
Yeah, Vito.
What's going on?
You tired, Vito?
Hooroo! I'm still here, actually. I'm in the parking lot right now. Yeah. The car park, as you guys call it. Let me move with the sun behind me. The sun in front of me. Hang on.
I just want to get,
actually in the car park.
McRib, the idea of who, which one of you guys were you all in Washington on that day?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we were all out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. McRib, I can go to you. What was the feeling from your point of view? How was it when you got there and saw the crowds? What did it do for the organization? How did it feel?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you, boss.
Can anyone else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I see you. I just can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay, Vito. Let's go to you, man. What was it like? What was the day like?
Yeah, yo, brother. Bro, it was beautiful, man. It was great to see all my dude. I love all these guys, man. We're constantly just shooting the shit all day. I get to talk to these guys all the time. I'm pretty familiar with some of the East Coast chapters because they saved my ass and my governor on the 4th of July from a rabid BLM and Antifa mob under the fireworks at the Washington Memorial. So proud of your boy. Thanks, Philly boys. Thanks, New York boys, and Jersey guys. Thank you. But yeah, it was great. It was great just to see my guys, and I wasn't expecting the turnout and the kind of like the outpouring of love from all the just normal everyday people.
Yeah, I mean, the visual side of it when you saw it. From what I saw, no media company were willing to sort of step foot near you guys or anyone just to show, because you couldn't really get a bad picture. It's like you couldn't really try and find, the
just
idiot.
like 4 white guys or something and put them together. Yeah.
It seemed like it was a collection, because we get it in this country. I mean, when we went on the MEP campaign with Tommy, and people who said racist that and race, and Zach, you can probably talk more about this. I mean, our group was more diverse than any group.
So we've got a story from the MEP campaign. We were in Barrow-in-Furness, it was, and the guys that turned out to oppose us were exclusively white middle class people. They were calling us racist. Now, we were the only people there that were with people of colour. We had an Indian screen operator, we had black security guards, we had mixed race cameramen, and they were calling us racist. And then they pointed out to us that the only reason that these people of colour are with us must be because they're getting paid. So straight away we turned it on them. Well, that's racist. Straight away. You just did this look of shame come over them, and they just melted off.
But I'm guessing you guys get the same type of thing, yeah? I mean, it's
oh yeah,
they plant you as racist, and then you turn up with Enrique, and they're like,
well, it's not. Yeah, it's not only Enrique too. I mean, we have but I mean, obviously he's the face of our organization. But there, like at one point, Friday night when we were all in DC, there was about 8 or 9 of us, and I was the only white guy there. And I was like, well, see, this kills their narrative, but there's never a camera around when that happens. No. So,
the busload of guys I was chatting to when you were traveling back home, I mean, again, multicultural, that people that were in there, people from all backgrounds.
Yep. We've got people of all even different political beliefs. We have some guys in the club that are liberal, some guys in the club that are not Trump fans. So but they'll never allow us to destroy that narrative. They won't. They need to hold on to that.
Well, listen, I'm seeing another Patriot sat in the background with his arms crossed, probably waiting to come in. So
we've got 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes.
Oh, he's sat there. I'm sure he's happy. It's only 2 minutes. But listen,
let him in.
Without further ado, here he comes. What?
I was going to say, that video that we've managed to obtain of these guys, one you got on your phone, play that. I just want an explanation of, why they were chanting that.
I'll do that before these guys leave. But, it's a strange one, Proud Boys.
It is a strange one.
We'll ask about it in a bit. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tommy Robertson.
Yes, lads.
How are we doing?
Hey, Tommy, what's up, brother?
There's some strong beards in here, man.
There is, man. There is.
Why didn't I get a name like the Noble Beard or the Goat or something like that?
It's actually a great troll on Enrique, man. I had to steal his name, and somebody's like, "You got to troll Enrique. Make your name the Noble Beard."
Well,
listen, Tom, just to start with,
it's better than Zach's.
Oh, don't say that. There's a guy traveling with Vito called Redman. You want to see his beard? His was down here.
It's like down here. It's like down to his chest, dude. It's huge. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was massive.
Women were coming up to him all day being like, I want to play with your beard. Just women were just like touching his beard. Just like,
Tom.
He's just like, kind of like, who are you?
What you saw in Washington, mate, what did you think of it when you saw it?
For me, lads, you've created a household name, yeah? The Proud Boys have become a household name. Now, finally. And with that is going to bring a lot of suffering for whoever's at the head of it. I know that. They are going to try.
Yeah, you know.
And take down. So obviously, do you know, for me, I'm sitting back and I'm watching developing the United States. I remember coming to America in 10 years on, 2011. It's actually what I went to prison for, really. I come to the United States to give a warning. Yeah? And we built a movement in the UK from city to city. We built a band of brothers, and I'm watching it all now play out. And I'm even seeing the acceleration in the United States. When I first started talking about the erosion of free speech, talking about the left, talking about how they're going to work, talking about how they all combine together, the Islamist ideology with the communists, with the Marxists, with this mindset that's going to attack all your freedom. It was unthinkable just 10 years ago. It was unthinkable. Yeah? And I'm watching how quickly it's accelerating in the United States. And then I'm watching the reaction to it. You built a movement, which is what it is. And the hardest problem they had with the English Defence League was everyone was volunteers. Yeah. And I've always said there's nothing stronger than the heart of a volunteer. A man that loves his country, who's not going to get bought. Most of the people who are coming out against you are bought, are paid for. Most of the organisations are paid for. That's why I saw you saying, Danny, when you try and debate them, they can't debate because most of them don't even know why they're there. But
they're there for a paycheck.
Enrique, we had Gurmit Singh. When we started the English Defence League, we had Gurmit Singh. He was a Sikh lad. He bust their narrative. Yeah. So because of that, he come under such attack. We had Hindu members, we had Jewish members, and that is who they will target. Anyone who's not white, they will want rid of, because then they can put you into the category which you've all already seen. The category they want you all under is this far-right, white extremist organisation of thugs and violent people. And you've even seen, I know, in the John Kinsman trial, you all saw how they cut out any images of his missus. You've seen the manipulation of the media. I just want to say, well done, lads. That's what I want to say, is that I've watched the organisation. I've seen it come together, and it's exciting to watch and to know, but at the same time, I hope you're all ready for what they're going to see. See if you don't win this election. I hate to say it, lads, but you're all in trouble, man.
Yeah, we said it before, and we said if Biden wins this election, he's going to try to put us in prison, just like they did to you. And you know, and we see what happened to you. We foresee that happening to us over here, because you're right. Because we are the last line of defense for freedom here in the United States. We're the ones that are willing to go out, and we're the ones that are willing to put our skin in the game, just like you are. So to hear you say that after what you've sacrificed and after what you've been through, that means a whole hell of a lot to a lot of Proud Boys all over the place, and we appreciate that. So,
because Tom, can I just say, when Tom first started the EDL, the slogan was "Black and White Unite." You know, that was what it was about. I mean, all the pictures from the earlier days that I've seen, you know, loads of black lads, and they had to get that away from it so that they could then target Tom and make him seem that the person
they want to make you a fringe extreme voice. That's what they want. Whereas the reality is your views and your ideas are mainstream, and they will use the media to make you feel, which is what I always used to say to people. If you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling that your views are not accepted, they're mainstream. We're just fighting this machine. There's a machine out there that's beating everyone down, that's making us feel that we're not. Yeah, but I
mean, on that John Kinsman, I can remember watching a video that his wife done, Zizi Kinsman, saying how she went up to the cameras outside the court to try and show, you know, because they're painting him as this racist, to try and show he's married to a black woman, and the cameras were purposely moving away from her. You can't even find that video now online. I went looking for that about a month ago, couldn't find it.
You know, every single demonstration English Defence League had, from day dot, there was a non-white speaker. No one would even know that. No one would even know that. No one would even know that. And that was
because they don't want you to know that.
No. They don't want
anyone. We got oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. Carry on.
No, Tommy, even based on what you're saying too, by the way, pleasure to meet you, brother. I'm going to see you soon in real life, hopefully one day. But we got, I mean, not to give too much out, but we got some pretty good intel that BLM has. We have black members in our club. We got pretty good intel, and even at some of the street demos we've done, where BLM has gone after our black members of our club, guys who've been in the club for a while, longer than I have, probably since the inception of.
But that'll be organised as well. That'll be, Because if they get rid of the black, they have to get rid of them. They have to get rid of them from your organisation. They will
absolutely.
As well, I mean, the way that I see it in terms of who we go after in terms of trying to change this way the life is at the moment, we're a lot of people focusing on the individuals that are coming to the marches. I think to solve this problem for the future generations, you have to look at who's behind them, and you have to go after those type of organisations that are funding and sending these individuals and paying these individuals to come to these places. Because that's ultimately what these people wouldn't even turn up without being paid, without the organisation of these Soroses and all these people behind the scenes. That's what we're seeing in the United Kingdom anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I put a message of hope out there. I know it sounds. I know sometimes it makes.
Gentlemen.
Oh, say hello to Patriot quick. Tom, one of your biggest fans over in the US. This is Patriot Ralph. Ralph, Tommy.
How are you, Ralph? How are you, mate?
I'm hoping his signal's going to stand up.
I don't think he's standing up.
Howdy, Tommy.
How are you, mate?
I'm doing great, brother, and glad to see you still doing the fight.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Still here. Still here.
So listening to everything that's been going on, because even though I was playing this whole thing, you got two things I wanted to just hit real quick. First, the divisiveness and the manipulation that's going on with breaking your clubs up or trying to, like EDL, and what's going to come after the Proud Boys. The only way you're going to stop that is you keep getting those members of heart that they don't care. They're going to stand against it no matter what. Secondly, and I think very importantly on the quick, if we go back to Saturday's mega million plus march, and you look at that, and then you look at everything that's coming out, I really don't think there's a chance in hell that Biden will win. The problem's going to come after he loses with the rest of the world trying to cause mayhem.
Absolutely.
That's my thoughts on that whole thing. You're going to have these other governments that have been involved with all this colluding and manipulating. And they're not going to like this result when Trump wins.
China.
Oh, man, I hope he wins so much. Do you know how much rides on the fact that he wins? Not just for you, obviously you in America, but for us as well. For the whole world.
The whole of the West. Yeah.
We become a socialist, communist, Marxist world if he loses, and it's actually I
see what Ralph's saying there though. It's when Trump wins, you imagine the backlash that's going to come. Then the backlash from the left, it's going to be civil war.
Other countries will encourage like the BLM movement hasn't been encouraged enough by the BBC, by the political powers in our country, by the whole world pushing this agenda. They're
going to be emboldened now. They're going to be completely emboldened now if Joe Biden gets behind them. So it's going to happen no matter what. I think there's going to be an explosion either way. Honestly, I think either if Biden gets this stolen victory, I think the people are going to rise up, and I don't think it's going to be peaceful. I mean, I don't. And then if the other half happens where Trump wins it because that's what he was supposed to do and that's what he would have done, I believe that there's going to be an uprising on the left. So I think this is the most dangerous and this is the most explosive element to any election in my lifetime anyways. I've never seen one this polarizing, and I'm not happy about either way at this point, because I really don't. I just want our country to go back to normal and everybody be able to have discourse, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So,
and the media are blaming it on Trump for causing the divisiveness.
Yeah, but the media are being very smart. They're preparing the lefties, the extremists. They're brainwashing them into believing no matter what happens, Biden's won. No matter what's happened, even if Trump comes back and proves there's fraud, no matter what, they're brainwashing the public, the leftist public, to believe that he's won. Because then when he does lose and Trump gets in, like your man said, it's going to go off, and it's going to go off.
They've been having an uprising.
It's happening right now, actually. It's happening right now, Daniel.
Yeah.
They've been having an uprising.
Look how polite we are, not trying to talk over each other. That's very nice, very nice. And they say we're all thugs, right? I thought we were all thugs.
Shut up, Vito.
I keep seeing I just keep seeing Enrique popping in and out of the picture.
Yeah, he's right here. He's ready. Yeah. Are you guys ready for
bring him on.
You got his theme music prepared?
Is it like some Cubano music?
Yeah, he's got
it better be Party in the USA.
Here he is.
Worst Nazi
are we gonna drop everyone out and just leave Tommy and Enrique in? Yeah.
If that's how you want to do it, do you want to do that? Should we do that? Tom, do you want to do it like that?
I'm easy, lads. I'm easy, boys.
Yeah.
Sure, go.
Let's have a chat. Let's move it out. If you want to bring Enrique on, we'll get everyone out there.
Hey, proud of your boy.
Proud of your boy.
It's just hold on, let me play your theme music in the background.
There's no fucking theme music.
You're a super villain, man. You're supposed to have your theme music.
Just for everyone that doesn't know, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Proud Boys, Enrique.
Enrique, how are you?
How's it going, guys?
It's good, mate. It's good. Yourself?
I'm doing great. We just came back from the Georgia State Capitol. Oh, there he goes. Wait, is that you playing that?
Yeah.
Oh, stop it. Sorry.
Or is that your entry song?
It's like herding cats here. But yeah, we just came from the Georgia Capitol. We're protesting. We're out there with Alex Jones. We've been out here for 2 days, and we decided to relax a little bit tonight.
I watched your speech. We're going to be out every day. Yeah,
that's what we need. We need to be out every day. We need to get off our phones. We need to get off our couches, and we need to get out there. There's nothing good comes from just sharing content if you're not out there on the streets.
You always have to have a presence on. In your honest opinion, is Trump going to win? Do you think he's going to win?
I don't know. I still think it's a coin toss. I think it's vital that he wins. I think not just the U.S. I think the entire world. There's two paths. Go ahead.
If he wins and he proves, I just watched Sidney Powell's latest speech on this. I'm watching everything. Yeah, it's exciting times. It's worrying times. If he wins and he proves, or they prove, that there was widespread voter fraud, that these machines that have been used in Venezuela to fix elections, they've been used in Argentina to fix elections, and then they've been used in the United States to overthrow the democratic election of the people. If he proves that, and at the same time that that's happened, we've witnessed big tech totally support it. I think we'll be seeing the end of many of these big tech organizations. When I say the end, the trust will be gone by the public. It will be so devastatingly bad for them that I'm sitting as I'm watching it every day thinking, come on, please. I hope that I sit and think, you knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. We all could have wrote what was going to happen with regards to the mail-in ballots. So surely, and I read the executive order from Donald Trump in 2018 for national security on the election fraud.
Yep.
Surely they're prepared. Surely they prepared, and I'm hoping that the Democrats have walked into this, and I'm hoping that this plays out, that we see. But I don't know if it's just such wishful thinking for me, because I watch every day just thinking, release the Kraken, come on. I want to see the evidence. I want to see, and I just want to dance around and scream around when the media are exposed, big tech's exposed, all these phony politicians, Justin Trudeau, and all these clowns around the world who have supported this fraudulent election. In one fell swoop, it will be an iconic moment in history if this is overturned for fraud. So I'm excited, thinking it needs to happen. But if you're on the ground in the United States, do you hear any more about whether they've got the evidence, whether they're definitely, because you read so much online, do you hear anything else over there?
I think there's overwhelming evidence that there's been fraud committed here in the States. I think number one, I mean, this is the most pointing thing that I could tell you that that for sure there's fraud. I've been working elections for 18 years, and I've never seen 90% turnout rate in Wisconsin. I keep saying that because I think that's the most important number. Historically, their average is 63% turnout rate, and 93. That's 9 out of every 10 people registered to vote actually voted one way or another. And that to me is where it points. But you're right. I'm waiting for this. I'm hoping that evil doesn't win on this one. I don't know. Here's the only thing that has me a little worried is how big are we underestimating the establishment? Are we underestimating these people that have had control for so long?
If they can do this, will he win using the system to beat them when they are the system? That's the worrying thing. My worrying thing, Enrique, is also, or I know you're going to experience some backlash, yeah, as being the main face for the Proud Boys, because if they take you away, it's like I was saying earlier, I've watched the emergence of Proud Boys. I've seen it since Gavin McGuinness. I've seen it grow. You don't fit the narrative that the media wish to portray. And for that, they will. Hopefully Trump wins. But if Trump doesn't win, you will then be in a system like I've been for a decade, where they're going to do everything they can, to demonize, slander, attack, and I'd say get rid of you from political life. Because if and look at what's happened to the Proud Boys. When I look at the different areas, when I look at the political sentence given to John Kinsman, when I look at the unfair treatment already being given in the United States under Republican leadership, this has all happened with Trump in power. What do we think is going to happen if Joe Biden is in power for your activists, for your organization? That should be a worry for yourselves. I know just a reality on what's coming.
If we look at, I already know how this book ends if Biden wins this election. Do you remember what Biden's first campaign ad was when he said he was running for president? It was about Charlottesville and white supremacy. Then here we go, fast forward to the first presidential debate where Joe Biden equated us to that. It's not hard to see that this is one of his campaign promises. Just yesterday, Cory Booker said that he was going to label us a domestic terrorist organization. And they asked me today at the rally after I mentioned that, and they asked me, well, what are you going to do? Well, I said that I'm just going to smile because that's all I could do. The Democrats will, one way or another, and mark my words right now with you here on this podcast, they will put me and my guys in chains. I'm telling you right now that is one of the things that they got a gun for. They need to silence us. We are way too loud for them. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop what we're doing. I'm going to keep going out. I'm going to keep doing what the Proud Boys are going to keep doing what they do. We always remain within the scope of the law, even though some of these laws we feel are unconstitutional, but we will operate in the scope of the law. We will defend ourselves. We will defend our country. We will keep protesting. And I think the best way to kick off, if it happens, a Biden presidency is to take over his inauguration. I think Trump supporters, and I'm calling on Trump supporters right now to go ahead, and we need a sea of red hats. If that inauguration happens, we need a sea of red hats. And we start that Biden presidency off with a revolution.
It's just what I wanted to hear.
We need to. And I was on Milo's podcast the other day, and me and you haven't formally met. I think this is the first time that we talk. And, I always give praise to you because I've always said that America needs a Tommy Robinson. America needs the UK needs multiple Tommy Robinsons. And I think your work is so amazing, and you're an inspiration to so many people, including myself. People need to stop complaining, and they need to start doing, because if we don't, we're going to lose. And I want people to be uncertain. because it's true, because there is an uncertain future, and that is what drives us. That is what drives us to do the right thing, to fight for these people. They were assaulting women and children in DC.
I've seen. How is that? Do you know, reverse the roles there. Trump supporters attacking Democrats or attacking women walking down the street. But some of the videos I was watching, it makes you feel sick. And then I think, what's going on? But then it doesn't make it, that makes you feel sick seeing the level of violence aimed at innocents. But the media's response, they don't even report it. They don't even report it. And if they do report it, they cut and edit it and manipulate it to look like something is totally different. But I just think that as they're doing that, do they realise when they've done it to me for years, I luckily for years, I had my own platforms with large followers that I could show people what they've done, which essentially is them digging their own grave. Because as they're doing it, people are seeing the reality and they're seeing the media's lies. So the trust is disappearing even further. So I always say our job is to cause questions over the media and their legitimacy, and it has been for years. Donald Trump helped us massively. I was fighting fake news for 6 years, and then Donald Trump brought out the term fake news, and I thought now everyone's understanding that we're getting lied about. But I think for me, for you to say you take inspiration, or to know that Americans have watched in the UK, so we should be a blueprint for you to learn from, to see where it's heading, to see where it's going. We don't have free speech. There is no free speech. Katie Hopkins, and I've been loving her tour of the United States. I've been watching it. And you know what? I wish I could get into America, because I'd have a warning to give, which is what I come to give first time 10 years ago. That is, there's not a warning about something I've read. I've lived in a town that has demographically changed beyond belief. Yeah, it's now over 50% Islamic. I've seen the coercion and the way the left work with the Islamists, the way they work together. I've seen the attack on anyone that speaks out. So I'm talking about, and I've said for years, America, get ready, it's coming. Yeah, I just didn't realize how quickly it'd be there. I didn't realize, and I wasn't ready for the explosion of BLM and the way it's pushed every election, but also then it hit the shores here. And then we're hearing all this critical race theory. We're seeing the education system. And then I'm seeing Donald Trump start fighting back with executive orders about targeting the American education system for what they're teaching. And you need 4 more years of Donald Trump, because if not, your next generation, you're already seeing it coming out of universities, brainwashed to hell. They're going to get the next generation, and before you know it, you're outnumbered by people who hate America, who hate the Stars and Stripes, who hate capitalism, and that's what it's all about. But for me, I just it's been encouraging, man. It's been encouraging to see. I'm watching an organisation, and I'm watching yourself. And I always ask, I just think, I wonder if he knows what's coming, or I wonder if he's ready for what's coming. Because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, man. And I was ready for attacks, yeah, and violence. I wasn't ready for the state interference. I wasn't ready for the level of state interference and persecution. And that's what I sit for yourselves and think you're a brave man, because
thank you.
Because of your because you're not white, they're going to go for you even worse, man. Because they need to get rid of you. They need to fit the narrative of where they need the Proud Boys, what they want them to be. They want them to be Nazis. They want them to be extreme. You bust that narrative, and all the people, yeah, they want it. The authorities, or the Democrats, the establishment, the globalists, that's what they want. That's what they need. And you are going to be a right thorn in their side. So I love it, and good luck. You're going to need it.
yeah, I am, but they're not going to take me in, and I'm definitely not going to kick and scream, but I am going to smile. Look, here's a perfect example, because you were touching on the DC thing and how nobody covers us. So just about 2 weeks ago, Bevel and Beatty, a couple Proud Boys, were helping a gentleman that was being stabbed, and we sprint across the street to help him out, and we got stabbed for it. And this is the USA Today. We're the victims, I guess, right? The USA Today. The title is "How Police Handled a DC Stabbing is Yet Another Sign of How Law Enforcement Favors Extremist Group Proud Boys." We went to help him, man. they turn these people into victims, and then they go ahead and they trash police, and then they trash the Proud Boys. They're like, oh well, there was another article that's like, oh, Proud Boys got stabbed, but before they got stabbed, they were throwing up the white power hand signal at the bar. Like, hey, this is the reason why they got stabbed.
And then they give justification for the reason. Or you'll see, and again, I've seen all of this. Yeah, I know I've seen it. English Defence League would have a demonstration. We'd come under hostile attack and violent attack. There'll be 28 arrests. Yeah, 26 of them will be Antifa. The headline: 26 arrests at violent English Defence League rally, because they know people only read the headline. So they will attach with the Proud Boys violence at every opportunity. Now, again, the reason why you're gonna say, for example, in the UK, we have Nigel Farage, who's politically speaks out against immigration. Now, everywhere Nigel Farage walks, he walks with a security team that costs probably £700 each man. Yeah, he walks under total security. Donald Trump will travel the United States with total security. This is the difference where it comes to organisations like ours. I very much doubt you're going to have security 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or you can afford it. Yeah? So
we're the poor boys, remember?
That's it. We're Proud Boys. So that's why people throw things at me, and I see it. I see the headlines about myself. People say I've been involved in violence. Yeah, you hit me, I'll hit you back. Yeah, that's how it goes. You come up and you against me, I'm going to defend myself at every opportunity. And unfortunately, that's the same situation I think many of you are putting yourselves in, because what the doxing that you're witnessing, and there are organisations, there will be, I know it's in the United States, but in the UK, we have groups like Hope Not Hate, where they pay people 24 hours a day. And their job is to go through and find every person involved. Their then job is to find where they work. Their then job is to find their mums, their dads, their sisters, their brothers. And then it is to target all of the family. So what they hope, and I'm just telling you, so I know you've been in it a little while, but as things heat up, every single person around you, because I've been there, will be crying, will be upset, and will be begging you. This is how because of the pressure they will put on them. They will put pressure on everyone in every, for example, like on myself, they went back on my mum and dad's bank accounts 6 years. They went through all of my family and they looked for anything. And they pulled in family members. Is it the IRS? What's your tax over there? The tax investigation?
IRS.
The IRS. They pulled in people here, pulled in people there, pulled in people, and they just hit everything. So they will just use just a warning because I've been in the seat you're now in, and expect everywhere you go, you're on camera. Expect everywhere, every bit of banter you're having with your mates, you're on camera. Even if you're not on camera, you're on camera, because they will try and pull and quote and nick little things. I should have learned that very early on. I didn't. You might have seen some of the little clips of me, but you can't have banter in group chats anymore. You can't do much because it'll be used to stigmatize or demonize your organization and your people.
Yeah, I'm expecting it. I'm expecting. We're already get a huge backlash as it is. We've always gotten a backlash from the beginning, and we've always been prepared. I didn't know how prepared I was supposed to be in the beginning when I first joined. I started going out with the guys. They started going first for social media, right? All our social media accounts. Then they went for our financing, right? They went for our banking systems. I've been knocked off of Chase Bank. All of our guys have problems with credit card processors, even though their business isn't like of the political nature. We have problems. I'm banned on like things that I've never even heard of before. I'm also banned on Airbnb, Coinbase Commerce. I mean, anything that you can think of. So I've built pretty much a system to where I'm pretty much unbannable from those things. But the next step is banning me from life, period. Like putting us in jail, putting us in prison. And we've seen that with Max and John. While we're having this conversation right now, there's probably a street fight happening in New York where the cops are grabbing both of these people, and they get a slap on the wrist or they get let go. Like, these guys are doing 4 years in prison for defending themselves. 4 years in prison.
I watched it, and you know what? Yeah, I watched it. And it's
they don't.
you said about your banks, because my banks again. This is the third bank I'm on. Closed me just 2 months ago. But they will make their goal will be to make your life as difficult as possible. And when that doesn't work, if you carry on, like I'm at the point now where I'm going through the courts. If just this last week, court case, arrest, court case, arrest, it's just non-stop. I think I've had on one day I had a £44,000 bill. On another, I've had an £8,000 bill. So when what I'm witnessing is lawfare, which is going to be used against all of you as well, because they'll have these leftist celebrity style, we have jihadi style lawyers here who will go after you that way as well. And that's just a warning. So if you haven't, get your house in order already, because they'll come and try and take anything and everything they can in a way of silencing you. And it's crazy that we even have to sit and we're sitting having this conversation in the modern world, I'm in the land of freedom and democracy apparently, yeah. And you're in the United States, and you're going to come under attack in every single angle. And for what? For speaking up and loving your country. I always said it was the hardest thing to take was that I love my country and it hates me back. It's fucking nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, and it is insane that this is happening to anybody in this state. Because me personally, I've never asked to silence like Antifa accounts or anything. I actually want Jack Dorsey to actually give them more followers, because the more that they speak, the more we could see how stupid it is, their beliefs, and how unreal and how fake they are. Because it isn't about left-wing views in America. It's about doing away with the entire system, doing away with America, doing away with the UK. That's what they believe in. We know what they want to replace it with, but it's crazy. These are people that vote. These are people that call me. And I hate defending myself by using my skin color. Like I'm already tired of it. I'm tired of being like, oh, well, how can I be a white supremacist if I'm brown? I'm just tired of using that. But the thing is, it's true. There's three types of people. There are supporters of ours, right? That as long as we say true, they're going to support us no matter what. There is people that don't know us. And I love reaching out to those people and educating them about us. But then there's those people that just doesn't matter what we do. We could cure cancer. The Proud Boys can cure cancer tomorrow, and then somehow cancer will be good. I don't care to reach out to those people. I don't even want a discussion with those people. I don't want anything to do with them, because you know who we are, but you still hate us and you still want to lock us up. Yesterday when I was speaking, somebody put it on Twitter, and a whole bunch of people, their tweets were like, hey, the cops need to go in there and lock them up right now. They're domestic terrorists. They need to do this right now. Those people are the people that are getting into power. That's what Joe Biden is pushing. Maybe Joe Biden isn't pushing that directly, but his party is so much further left than him that he's going to be used as a puppet to push that agenda.
Or they'll get rid of him because he's senile, and then Kamala Harris will be the main girl.
And we know what she does to us brownies.
But
whatever, I get to use a brown card whenever I want. It's great.
So does Avi Yemeni. Do you watch Avi?
I'm sorry?
Do you ever watch Avi Yemeni? He's working.
Oh yeah. Avi's awesome. I follow Avi. Yeah, Avi's great.
Yeah, you use that brown card. Avi use it all the time.
Yeah. I use it when I can. I just hate using it in like a conversation like this. Like if I'm talking, I just hate using it because I think it's stupid. There's no good that comes from it. But yeah, but I do use it every once in a while when I'm out on the streets. They shoot. I've never been called, and I can't use the N-word on this show, but I've never been called an N-word in my life until I go to these rallies. And then the other side is the one that called me that.
I know, but we see that, and it's getting the general public. I think that's why they hated me. The establishment hated me, and they were worried by me because I got past that. I reached the average person. I got because of my reach on Facebook, 1.2 million people, because my videos were watched by millions, I could counter their lies and humiliate their lies and reach the average people. And I realise that by the reaction I get when I walk around the UK. It's getting past, you said you've got the 3 types of people. It's getting the people who automatically now have been programmed to believe the Proud Boys are a white supremacist group. They're automatically programmed. It's getting them past that, which you're going to do a tremendous job of doing as well. It's getting them past that to actually see what the Proud Boys are when you're up against the mass power of the media, which is the reason that alternative media is so important. So even with this election, like I've gained 60,000 since the start of the election on Parler. This has given a new life to Parler, a mass following where you need as much alternative news and media as possible. I would say to yourselves that if you set up your own media channel, the only problem being that I think automatically or very soon you'd be banned from every single of the other social medias. Yep. But which is where you need to be. I was a bit ahead of the curve on the deplatforming, where I had quite a few years to get people to know who I am. The stage we're at now, I don't think they'll allow anyone else to rise up to a following that I did without just cutting them off early.
No, they won't. Actually, a friend of ours, he constantly gets right back on Facebook. I don't know how he does it because the algorithms don't even let me. Like, I bought a phone at Walmart with a new email, new phone number, new everything. I opened a Facebook account. I didn't even put a picture of myself. I took a picture. I remember I took a picture of a garbage can, like with the same phone, and that was my profile picture. And it lasted 4 days, but he keeps coming up, and he keeps amassing these thousands, tens of thousands of followers really fast because he has a very loyal following, and they just keep bringing him down. And what that stops us is let's go back to where I said there's 3 types of people. Those people in the middle that don't know who we are.
Stops us reaching.
They don't want us to communicate with those people. They don't want us to grow and show people. Forget about growing followers for a second, and let's just think about educating people. Because I understand that the Proud Boys or Tommy Robinson, we're not everybody's cup of tea. Even for right wingers, some people just don't like us, and I get it. I understand. And you're not going to like with more than 22,000 Proud Boys now. You're not going to like every single Proud Boy, but we need to be able to reach out and tell those people at least, hey, this is who we are, accept it or don't. But we're going to be around no matter what. But they're trying to stop us from doing that. They're trying to stop us from reaching those people. And it's actually becoming harder and harder for them because people like you, the Proud Boys, we don't need social media. We're dope in real life. Like we're out there. You're out there almost every day. I follow you. I'm subscribed to you. I'm out here every day. I haven't, for the past 2 months, I think I've seen my house a grand total of about 4 or 5 days. I've been to 15 states and Beverly Hills, Austin. I've been everywhere. And then after this election, I definitely haven't been home, and I don't expect to be home. Florida, I'm from Florida, and Florida is supposed to be considered a battleground state. And it isn't anymore. Florida was a complete blowout. We're putting together $35,000 car caravans. We're knocking on doors. My guys were canvassing every day, and we completely flipped that state. But these states that we're in, like Georgia, they need help. They need people to come out. So if in the audience and you're here in the United States, we'll be in Philadelphia. We'll be here in Georgia. We're going to Wisconsin, Michigan, Phoenix, Nevada. We need you guys out. We really do.
Man, I wish I could be over there, bro. I wish I could be over there. I wish I could be over there.
They don't let you over here?
Well, I got an invite by 10 members of Congress, yeah? I got an invite, a signed invite, but I've still got the invite. I've got a signed invite by 10 members of Congress to come and address Congress on the issues in the UK, on free speech, on this, on Islam. And 45 MPs wrote to the American embassy, 45 British MPs. So when I went, we only have 650, 45 of them wrote letters. So when I went to the American embassy to get my stamp, because it was all agreed, they put a block on it in London. So I had it, I had the invite from the United States, from Congress, and they still managed to block it. And when I say 45 MPs, I think only 9 MPs wrote letters about the grooming. It was something like nearly 4 times as many MPs demanded that Tommy Robinson not go to the United States to tell them about the rape jihad in Britain, as only 9 or 10 MPs, or far fewer numbers, actually wrote letters about trying to stop the rapes in our country. So, but I wish I could get in. I was going to wait and see what happens with Donald Trump's election.
Well, apparently, all you got to do to get into the United States, you can fly into Mexico and just walk across the border right now.
Mate, I was debating.
Oh, wait, you got to wait till Biden gets elected, and you'll be able to walk across the border without a problem. But the Biden Gestapo will probably catch you and put you in chains.
I know. Well, to be honest, even when I come to America 10 years ago, I was told that you'll go to jail. But even at that time, I thought if I go to jail, it's going to blow up. I'm the leader of an organisation called the English Defence League. I'm in jail in the United States for coming to the United States. When it blows up, it's going to shine a torch on the message I'm bringing from the UK. That's how I thought. I got into America. I gave a speech, and I got arrested in the UK, and I spent 22 weeks on solitary confinement for that one. But again, I'm watching. Maybe I looked when I tried to take my protest movement to Europe. It was the wrong time. Yeah? I looked then 5 years later as Europe's ready, and I think when we come to the United States talking about these issues, it was way ahead of the curve. Now, looking at the United States, I think many people have been red pilled. Many people are waking up under especially what's just happened. And if he proves it, it has to be the end of. It has to be the end of Twitter. It has to be the end of many of these big tech organizations. And Donald Trump, what you need now more than ever is the people who are on the right side of politics or Republicans to start speaking out. Like all the people's in power, not just one or two of them or the same few. Every one of them need to be demanding an end to the power of big tech, demanding an end to Twitter, to the censorship levels. They're not they need to be put they need to have their rights taken away that they've been given, Twitter as a publisher, because they are every single mess up. That's why one thing that's coming out of it that I'm quite happy about is how many people are flooding over to Parler, because that's where I am. It's my only little voice I have. So
same.
Yeah, is that the only place you're at now?
That's the only place that I'm at. The only place. Well, I'll be Telegram. But Telegram's more messaging. We do have some subscribers, but I think Parler, I think today alone, we've grown between the Proud Boys account and my account. We've grown in the past hour. We've grown bigger than we have on Telegram for the past. I think we've been using it for about 3 years now. But yeah, that's these social and this was going to be. We're going to be targeting social media giants here coming into next year. No matter who's president, I think we do need to protest these people. They can't. This can't go unchecked. Everybody worries about Antifa. We don't worry about Antifa anymore. We just show up. That's the easiest thing that we do.
Do you know if you're targeting social media companies in any way? Can you quietly let me know in the UK, and I'll make sure we target them here at the same time?
Yeah, of course, and they need to be, because the truth is, if they want to ban certain speech, that's fine. If they don't want any conservatives on it, whatever, fine. Even though they should be regulated and they should adhere to our constitutional values, or just free speech values in general. But the thing is that they get these protections from the government. They get these protections, and that needs to be, like you said, it needs to be stripped from them.
It has to be.
Because
it has to be taken.
Check this out. Let's step in the Democrats' shoes for a second, Tommy. And let's say the Russians, we caught the Russians. We caught the Russians interfering in our elections. And they used social media platforms to do that. If they had that much power, if social media has that much power that it could influence United States elections, right? Where did they get that power? The Russians didn't have that power. They got it from the social media giants. So they have enough power to sway an election. We saw that. We saw that with multiple companies, with companies that pick up their people's data, that they can play on people's emotion and get them out to vote for things. So it could be swayed. It could be swayed by these social media giants. They need to be regulated. I'm not a libertarian. I'm definitely not a libertarian when it comes to that. They need to be regulated, and they need to be checked, and they need to be fined. And the people are the ones that should have control of that. The people that are banned.
Even with Laura Loomer, they interfered with her election. They interfered with her ability. Whether we like it, social media is that big now that it's where everyone goes to for their news. It's where people go to find things out. And when you take someone or you delete someone from that, you're not giving them a fair, equal opportunity if they're running for in a democratic country for election. For example, when I stood in the UK, all of the other people you're standing against are spending all their money on promoting to reach people on their computers and on their phones. You're not allowed to. So that's not a fair election anymore. It's not, and that's the power from the social media. And even just for that time period of an election, they wouldn't let us rejoin. So I just again, I know it's wishful thinking, but if Donald Trump's got this in the bag, if he's got it in the bag, if he can prove it, it's going to bring them down. And I just can't wait. But the worrying thing is as well, there'll be an explosion of violence from the left. But there's been an explosion of violence from the left for the last 12 months. Mm-hmm. There's been an explosion. But now, if they have tried to rig an election, I hope he comes down and crushes them. Because he should have before. So many of them should have been in jail after with Hillary Clinton and everything that's gone on. So I just hope the gloves are off if he wins this election.
This machine has been around for a very long time. And the president has done an amazing job fighting back on it. But it's our job. It's up to, like, this country isn't going to change just with one person. It's up to us. The way that to save the West is we need to replicate those who have its best interests at heart. We need to inspire more people to come out. Again, I say this, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. You've been an inspiration to me. I've always seen your work, and I'm like, wow, we need that. We need that here, and we need people to fight this, because if we lose this, I mean, the cool thing about the contested election, though, I am going to tell you that it has brought a lot of unity in us, and I saw it in DC. I saw people that weren't agreeing with each other, and they were at each other's throat, hug it out, slap each other's ass, and just work together for the common good, the common cause that we all have, which is to save the West. We need those people, and I think it's helped out, but we need to be even more united. Go ahead.
And what feeling, yeah? You know that feeling. I felt that feeling a few times. You know the feeling when you're all there, and I watch the national anthem. That feeling there, yeah. That's why they won't stop it. Yeah? I always said this is the feeling, that camaraderie, that emotion, that passion, and it's in you, and the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up. Yep. And I think they can't stop this. I always said for years, what started? You can't stop this because it's in here. It's in here. It's not for that. It's there. And so
it is. It was an amazing moment. We Antifa was in front of this, and you probably saw the videos. They were throwing fireworks at people that were eating dinner, and we caught wind of that. We went over there. We cleared them out of that street, and people were still cowering because they thought we were Antifa, because they were high up there and they just saw a big crowd, and it was magical. Nobody said anything. Just one guy started singing the national anthem, and everybody started singing the national anthem. And I was in the middle of an interview, doing a media interview, and I just cut it off. I pulled my microphone off, and I sat there and I started singing with them. And it was that moment where, like, your hair stand up. And that, although I don't know how this election is going to roll, and people watching this pretend that Biden, I like to say that you guys got to pretend that Biden's going to win, and you need to fight as if that's the case. But just listening to that gives me hope for the future, not for political reasons. It shows me that there's a lot of people that are out there, and a lot of people that aren't going to let this happen, and that we will win. I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact that we will win.
It's just how the fight goes.
We just need to keep going. We need to keep the faith.
Yeah, it's good. It's, as I said, I'm addicted at the minute to every minute of American politics. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting watching and just praying, and then I only pray one day that I'll be there with you. I'll be there with you, because I said I had a few meetings, and I said I think that people in the United States really need to understand what's happened in the UK. They need to understand when they think of London, when they think of Britain, it's not the country it was anymore. You know what I mean? The freedom's not there. It's totally changed. And then to understand the power and the speed at which it changed, which is what the Democrats are going to look to do in your country, which is basically replace you like we've been replaced. I've already seen his plans for the refugee status. The borders will be open. They'll replace you with foreign people in order to have loyal vote bank.
Yeah, that's our biggest problem. I mean, that was our biggest concern in 2016 was our immigration problem. And I'm going to tell you something with such a it was such a hot button topic. It still is a hot button topic here in the United States, where the left wants open borders and some right wingers want to close this border and fix our immigration problem. Other Republicans want open borders. We have like Marco Rubio or whatever. But something that I find extremely I don't find it strange, but some people should find it strange. So during that time of such polarization when it comes to the immigration process, I'm Cuban, and my family was executed at the orders of Che Guevara. So Cubans are typically a lot more right wing than any other immigrants. But January 13th of 2017, before the torch was passed to President Donald Trump, Obama did something very quietly, and he removed the wet foot, dry foot policy, which I'm completely for removing. Right?
He removed what?
I'm for removing the wet foot, dry foot policy, where Cubans did have an advantage in immigration over any other country, where if you touch American soil, you automatically gain residency and nobody sends you back. I was for it, but I was like, wait, why am I for it? And he's for it too. And the reason that he did that executive order is because Florida's a battleground state. If he continues to allow the immigration from this country that hates communism and socialism with such a passion, then what he's trying to do, he's trying to flip this state by stopping this Cuban immigration that comes in. Again, I'm all for it. I'm all for right now. We need net zero when it comes to immigration. That's what I truly believe. We need net zero. We need to fix these loopholes. But that President Barack Obama, in such a divisive time when it came to immigration, he sided with us on that. It was because he wanted to win the election at that time. So I really think that it's and we're gonna for the next 4 years. That's why this election is so important. For the next 4 years, Biden and his socialist and this socialist left is gonna allow this country to be invaded, and he's gonna give them the ability to vote, which we're seeing already in California. He's gonna give them all the benefits that a United States citizen. That's not putting America first. That's the furthest thing from putting America first. And we should put America first. We should put America before all these countries. And it doesn't mean put other countries last. We have allies, but we're the most charitable country in the world, but we've forgotten about ourselves. And I think this is why I love the president. It's because of that. But we need to fix it, and we need to fix it together.
Yeah, testing times. I love the president. I love the president because he had it all. He was loved by everybody, and he sacrificed that.
Except Rosie O'Donnell.
and he sacrificed that because he saw the mess America was in. And I love him. So
yeah.
I just hope that as I said again, it's exciting, but it's worrying. It's worrying, man. It's like I was worried when Jeremy Corbyn was running for power here because I could see, but there ain't much difference actually. Now I think about that. Our Conservative Party and its leadership, everyone was a bit excited about Boris Johnson. It's been a total failure as well. Immigration's continued. Boatloads are coming in. We don't know who they are. They're now bringing in this pandemic laws. I was arrested under them last week.
I saw that.
Yeah, do you know what? I was arrested for an offensive weapon. Yeah, I was arrested for an offensive weapon, and then and I swear they just do it for the headline. Because as soon as I got to the police station, straight away, well, we're de-arresting you on the offensive weapon. Well, why did you arrest me on offensive weapon? And now we're going to question you under COVID legislation. Now, what they don't, I'll have a video out this week. I've actually got a recording from the police officer. I record everything. I've got a recording from the police officer confirming that I wouldn't be breaking any laws by going, and they still arrest me. So I'd expect even yourself to face a lot of arrests. I just hope that you've got some strong lawyers who support you, because it's been very difficult over here. I had another thing. 6 months ago, I was working on a documentary. This is about a young girl who alleged she was raped by Muslim businessmen in a town in the north of England. I went up there to record, and this is where I know I'm paranoid, yeah, but I'm standing up there and I'm interviewing this girl's stepdad. And as I'm doing that, a boy comes over and he starts talking to me. Now, I wear a camera everywhere. He spits in my face. Now, at the point of spitting in my face, I put him on his ass. Yeah, I put him on his ass. I record it, and then when he gets up, I then tell him off. I don't attack him. Okay, I've defended myself. He gets up. I then tell him off. I said it's the start. It was at the start of COVID-19. You probably think you're reasonable. You spat in my face. Now, I'm arrested later that night, and when I'm arrested, they seize all our cameras. They seize our phones. They seize everything. Yeah, literally an hour later, they seize the lot. What? I copy everything first. It's all copied automatically to a cloud, yeah? So when I'm arrested, they think they've seized all the footage. When I get to interview, this boy, and I looked him up afterwards, his parents donated £500,000 to the local police force, yeah? So his family are heavily intertwined with the police. So then I start thinking, have I been set up? Because then they've got a statement where the boy says that I called him a non-binary, queer, whatever, yeah? I'm arrested on a hate crime.
Oh.
I'm sitting there thinking, I wonder if they realise. And then I get told I'm going to be remanded in prison. Yeah, and I'm thinking I've got all this on tape. So I come out of the police station. I finish my interview, and I'm being told I'm going to be remanded. And I say to the police officer, you know everything you've just questioned me on, everything. When I'm in prison, if you're remanding me, because my solicitor said they remand me, I'm going to release every bit of this footage. Yeah. Because what you don't realise is you haven't got the footage. You've took the cameras, you've took the memory stick. I've got the footage elsewhere. So I'll release it. So then I come out, and then they didn't. They bailed me. And I come out of custody. And then when I come out of custody, I released 10 seconds of the footage saying, can't wait to prove you guys wrong, yeah? Can't wait to prove you guys wrong. They then took me back to court with an injunction and a court order where they made it law that I had to, by law, give them all of the footage, the copy of the footage that I had in the cloud, yeah? And then when the judge ruled it cost me £2,500 to go to court. Then the judge ruled that and made me have to pay their costs, yeah, of another £3,000. This is what they do. It's just all financial terrorism. Yeah. And then, so I've now got the footage, which I'm just working on the video. So I've got the footage of him spitting at me. You hear it. You hear me hit him in defence. And then you hear what's said. There's no mention of non-binary. So there's an invented hate crime where you see if I didn't have the footage in the cloud, if I didn't have that, I'd be all over the media and I'd be going to jail for a homophobic hate attack. And then I think, shit, was that planned? Was he planned to come up and spit at me? Especially when I look at his family's connections to the police. I'm going to find him. So Harry Crooks, if anyone knows him and shows him this video, I'm going to find him. I'm going to put together a video that proves he invented a hate crime with the evidence. But my thing being, he should be prosecuted now for, we have a law called perverting the course of justice. He lied to police. They went through, I've spent 6 months on bail, and this will happen to you as well probably. I've had bail conditions for the last 6 months that I can't talk about child exploitation. Yeah, I can't enter the entire region of Cumbria. Those bail restrictions are left now. I'm actually in Cumbria all week this week to finish off the documentary I was making. But there's so many things that have happened to me that I just think, was that like I'm on trial next week on the 30th of November. I don't know if you saw, my daughter was sexually assaulted. Yeah, my daughter was sexually assaulted in a swimming pool. again, I think, have I been set up? Have they got someone to do that so that I react the way they know that they think I'm going to react? I detain the man, and now I face going to prison 4 weeks before Christmas for essentially defending my daughter. So I just, if I had any warning to give to you, is don't trust anyone, man. Don't trust anyone unless you went to school with them and unless you've known them your whole life. Because and I know some people you've become friends with. Yeah, I've watched so many things happen where I've then looked and gone, and it gets you into a paranoid state where you don't know who to trust and you don't know what to trust. But you have to always believe you're on camera, and you always have to believe that someone can be wronged, because they will find dirt on friends. They'll offer them money. They'll get them in positions where they're to turn on you in any way. So that's the only warning I'd give, is just be so careful, because you are going to have a target on you for a foreseeable future. And I'm glad already by your reaction and the way you don't say you don't care and you continue in, because you see, when you say that, you see, no matter what happens to you, I know I've had times where I've sat and thought, I'm tired, man. And I've seen the effect it has on my kids. But I know that so many people will become reliant on your organisation and yourself, that by you continue fighting, and you'll give them the inspiration to carry on fighting as well. So, all good.
I mean, the difference, I guess, obviously you guys are way ahead when it comes to this invasion that you're dealing with in the UK. And I can't believe that. No, it's not that I can't believe. It's hard for me to see how, like, you have the left against you. You have the government against you, which is the same thing that we have here with the Proud Boys. But then you have local law enforcement against you. It's like they're working their way down this system. And I support police officers because they're individuals and I see the crap that they have to go through. But I don't trust that they have our best interests at heart, right? I don't see it. So you're so far in it. It's just you and people that think like you that are fighting against this giant. It's like David versus Goliath.
David wins.
And we're almost at that point. And I'm afraid that it's going to become that one day here. Okay. But again, it doesn't mean that I'm just gonna go ahead and, like, I've lost everything to this. And I'm happy about it. Which is crazy to say.
That's their problem. You see, what they do is, like, when they done it to me, they smashed everything, where then it just makes you, they think it's going to make you stop, but it makes you more determined and more committed to just think, this is everything now. This is everything, because you know, as I said, you've started, you've shown your face, you've used your real name. Yeah, I didn't, because I was scared. Yeah, I was the person who didn't want to lose what I had. I had properties, I had a business. I knew that I'd lose, so I used a fake name, I used a pseudonym, I used a mask. And then when they took all the things I had anyway, yeah, and they put me onto police orders and confiscation orders and financial orders, it then was like, okay, well, this is it, boom, full steam ahead. So the more they pressure, just the pressure is, they won't just target yourself. Just prepare everyone, man. And I'm just saying that in the sense that I've watched the pressure they put on the mother of my children. I've watched what they've done to my mum, my dad. In my first 12 months of activism, my dad's business account was closed. They shut him down. My dad has his own business. The bank shut him down. What's it got to do with him? What's it got to do with him? But they shut him down. I watched all of this. So yeah, I think it's I just think it's best to be prepared. Yeah, it's best to be prepared.
It is, and we're preparing for it. I think we've been preparing for it for a little bit. I mean, sometimes you don't know what to expect. You know, you would ask me, you know, if this was going to happen like this, how heavy this election has gone. Right before election day, I would have been like, hey, Donald Trump's going to blow this out of the water. There's no way. I underestimated the machine.
And how much they don't care. Like, they don't care who's watching. They actually are. You see that when I've had arrests and I think, What, you don't care the world can see that you're wrongfully doing this? No, they don't. They don't give a shit. They do not care. So they don't care if the algorithms look like this and they bring boxes full of votes in at 4 a.m. They don't care. They do not care. And you know why they don't care? Because I've seen interviews by independent journalists going out and asking all Democrat voters, if voter fraud was used for Biden to win, like, what do you think? We don't care. Like, his own supporters, the communist, leftist, extremist mindset, they don't care. They want their goal and any means of getting. And that goal is to bring down the West, destroy capitalism, end the family unit. The state want to bring up your children. They want to confuse every kid into being a she, boy, girl, man, whatever. Like, they are just mixing and destroying everything that we, as a culture and and our history and our Christian culture, everything we hold dear, they want to break. And whatever means possible, they'll break it. So, yeah, it's and more than anything, at times like this, you do need unity. You need to show unity. It terrifies them when if you start showing numbers, you're organised, you're not a rabble. Part of our problem originally was when I started, I was 25 years old. I had no previous education in politics. I had no history in it. I was a young angry lad, and we mixed across the country, and we weren't organised and we weren't prepared. And at times our behaviour spilled over on the streets. And if you want to reach the masses, it's about controlling that and really channeling it, which is what I've learned. That I'm now 37. I'm a very different man to I was when I was 25. So yeah, I've learned a lot. And I just, if I can give any advice, or as I said, if you're planning anything big around Trump's election, around social media, and you want anyone in the UK to head Sank up, then give me a shout.
Well, I'm definitely going to contact you because we do have some plans, and hopefully we can get you into the US, and hopefully I can go to the UK one day.
You're already banned, bro.
Yeah, I'm already banned, and I haven't even tried. But I'd love to meet our Britannia guys over there. We got a great group of dudes, really solid group of dudes down there. And hopefully I could. But because, Hillary Clinton had this thing where she said together, stronger together. And I think that's 100% accurate. I think everybody right now that should be fighting should join forces and get together and fight this back. And I do have hope for the future. I do think that we're going to win, but you need to pretend that we're going to lose. You need to give it your all. You guys need to put this phone down. I mean, this is an incredible stream right here, so don't put your phone down right now. But after this stream, put down your phone and start planning. Start planning on what you're going to do next, where you're going to be, and what you're going to do. What are you going to do to save the West? And you wake up every morning and you ask yourself that same question. What am I going to do today to save the West? And get off your ass and do it. Because Tommy, you've lost everything. A lot of my guys have lost everything to this. And again, I can't be happier about that than about that. I live with passion now. I live with purpose. I could be comfortable. We could. They say there's stupidity and bravery, and that's so true. Because I could be at my home right now. I could be traveling, visiting beaches, or because that's what I used to do. But now I make probably a fifth. 10% of what I used to make. But
where can people?
I'm so much more richer right now, just doing what I do, and my guys love what they do. Also, there's smiles on their faces when they come to face with these Antifa, right, in the streets of DC, and when they start chucking rocks and stuff at us, like these guys, it's weird. These guys are still smiling. But they were beating women and children in these streets. We were at the hotel. Tommy, we were at the hotel. We had just finished the march. I told everybody because we couldn't go to the bars because it has a COVID lockdown and they did it right before this. So I told everybody, look, let's regroup, go home, take a shower, relax, and then we'll come back and we'll sit right in front of the Capitol. We'll drink a couple beers in front of in the National Mall. And we all went to our hotel rooms. I took all my gear off. I hadn't ate all day. I sat down to eat dinner with the boys, and the plate was hitting the table. It was going from the waiter's hand, and it was about to smash on the table when Jeremy back there, you could see him right here in the corner. He's sleeping, knocked out. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, our guys are stuck in a convenience store, and they're throwing fireworks inside the convenience store." So I grabbed 3 chicken wings. Forget the stereotype. I grabbed three chicken wings. I go upstairs. I eat these chicken wings. I put my gear on, and we march in. And it was like there was about 250 Proud Boys on the streets in less than 30 minutes. And then we walked around. There was people getting assaulted, so we walked around, and we were out there for about 12 hours that night.
Yeah, well, fair play, because it's needed. I saw it's needed, and I remember someone saying, I remember meeting Americans. 5 senators come over from Tennessee, 2010. I met them in London, and they said, when your newspaper call you hooligans, do you know what we see? And I said, what? They said, we see the last line of defense. We see the last line of defense. And that's essentially what you see in form with the Proud Boys in the United States. It's the people and the men. And when people stereotype them or stigmatize them, there's only certain sort of men that would stand on the front lines of any battle. And that's the sort of men that join the English Defence League. And I'm guessing it's the sort of men that are joining the Proud Boys. Proud men who aren't worried or fearful or scared or intimidated by a load of masked up communist Marxist students who want to throw rocks and smash people. So,
I mean, they like who I used to do a lot of mischief when I was acts of mischief when I was a kid. We used to like throw rocks at buildings and stuff like that. And it's like these people are grown up now, and
they're throwing rocks at kids and women.
Yeah,
you see the real hatred in them. It's like, you actually. When I was watching a lot of those videos play out, and if they're not a wake-up call to what's coming to the average, you might have some Republicans who weren't so excited about Donald Trump or didn't love him the way many people do. But if they're not watching that, the reactions of these people, and thinking that this is the mindset that's about to come into power. This is the mindset. They will crush at any means, in any way. And they are violent, but yet the media play out that it's the right, or it's the Proud Boys, or it's our organizations that are the violent ones.
And they're going to continue to do so. They're going to continue to it's only going to ramp up. I mean, it's ramped up tremendously in the past 4 weeks. And we've seen it happen again and again. And like the streets of Portland, I always say, well, Portland is horrible. It's a central hub of this whole thing. That's what inspires all this violence, all this political violence here in the United States. And we now we're seeing it everywhere. I'm even seeing it in Miami, where typically it's an apolitical city. We're seeing these attacks happen like it's normal. And
they're emboldened and they're encouraged. And they feel invincible because they are. They're not like Kinsman and co. They're not going to be in prison for 4 years. They're going to get the ease. They're going to get the softest policing. The police aren't even going to come out with regards to the political support they have in them Democrat cities.
Yeah, so, John and Max right now. John and Max. I
how are they getting on the job?
They're doing pretty good. Max is like ripped up. Gavin says Max is ripped up right now. And every time they see us in the news, they're writing letters back to our guys, and they're like, "Oh, great job, good job. I saw this, I saw that, I saw you guys on the news." They're not.
Have they not been targeted?
Yeah, they had to move them. I think they had to move them from the facility that they were originally at. I'll put up on my parlor. I'll put up like all their information and stuff like that. Anybody can go to Justice for Liberty and help them out with their books and stuff like that. But they're inspired. Their spirits are high. When they come out, we might need to get them to chill when they come out, because when they come out, the guys are gonna treat them right. They're going to treat him to the bar, and I think everything's going to be fine when they get out. But it's crazy that they're in there. They lost so much. John's lost the ability to see his kids. His kids grow up in like those awesome years when they're young.
I'll just jump in just quickly. I've got to say how much love there is for you two right now in both countries. I mean, the chat is lit up. We just want to. Zach's made me come on, so this is Zach's fault. He said, "You got to get in there and tell people what they're talking about." This is the type of unity that we're looking for in our own country. Around the two heavyweights that are sat here and talking like you guys are. When you look at America and you look at the United Kingdom, everything that's going on. This is so refreshing. I just want to thank you both from all the group and everyone on that you guys have come on tonight and done what you've done. Didn't need to butt in, but Zach made me. So
you got the fucking.
No, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to stop. We want to get some questions. If you don't mind, lads. Enrique, do you mind? Tommy, do you mind?
No, go ahead.
I've got one serious question. Zach, who drew that flag?
What flag? That's just covering the mirror, bro. That is a real flag covering the mirror because otherwise the light reflects off it.
Oh, right, okay.
And then this one,
it's terrible.
That was from Vito. That was a gift from Vito when Vito come over.
I remember.
The Gadsden flag.
All right.
Someone who had that on in
High roll.
Did someone have that on? I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. I've had a great time chatting, man.
Yeah, I've had a great time. I've had a really good
question for you that's come through. Yeah. Obviously, you've got a lot going on at the moment. We know anyone that knows you personally will know you've got a hell of a lot going on, a lot of court case, everything else. What are we looking at in the future, mate? What's new for you? What will be new? Once all the tips over, just for people that are wondering where are we going from there?
I've got two documentaries, two that tell total opposite stories,
Right on. It's good.
And I know the footage we've already got. I know the story they tell. And I also know that they have to be professional to do a proper investigative journalist piece on the crimes that we're looking at. Has to be done properly, which we've done. We've done a thorough investigation into everything. And one of them will be exposing this. The other one will be looking at the other one, which I'm up filming this week, is telling a totally different story, but around the same issues. Do you know? I'll tell you what it is. Myself, I get called a racist, and I know that how stigmatizing and difficult that can be for my kids.
Never heard that.
I've met some men. who have been regarded as rapists. There's a bit of a wake-up call for me as well. We've been regarded as rapists without any proof or evidence, and actually the story we're looking at, it actually might tell a very different story. So we've got two total different parallel documentaries that I'm ploughing on with. One of them I was prevented in working for 6 months. I'm now back on that. I've been up there this week. I'm back up there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, getting the story to be told. So, yeah, that's me. Obviously, I hope I don't go... They both are getting towards the end of where I need to be on them, Obviously, COVID's fucked me up. COVID's messed me up a bit with telling the final bits of the story. Other than that, I've got court on the 30th of November. If I'm found guilty, I've been told I could face prison. Probably will face prison. 4 weeks before Christmas.
Not again.
I know, man. I know.
Demos are coming.
Do they ever give up? I mean, for Christ's sake, Tommy's not going to stop. Just give it up. Let it go.
I said to my solicitor, like, really? So a man sexually assaults my daughter. That he's been charged. He's in Crown Court next year. None of the media reported any of this. He's in Crown Court. He's charged with sexual assault against a minor. I detained him. I didn't jump all over his head. I detained him. In the process, he gets the bloody nose. I'm on trial in court in Luton on the 30th of November before him. And then imagine
how the fuck is that possible?
Because he's Tommy Robinson, that's why. And just like it's going to be for Enrique, like Trump.
Yeah, so I've got that court case. I've got another court. I've just got court case, and this is where they tried to tie me up with other stuff, and now their final onslaught is just lawfare. And you know what? I've got this other court case for the libel case. Yeah. Now, just so I'll explain this, there was an incident in the UK where a Syrian refugee had a bottle of water poured over him in a school play by an English.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
The way the media portrayed it, they said it was racist. Yeah, there was a police investigation that proved it wasn't racist. The police done an investigation; it wasn't racist. So every media outlet, politicians, Sajid Javid, Piers Morgan, all the high-profile ones, they stood on TV and they condemned this 15-year-old white English boy as a racist bully. Yeah, I was contacted by parents and children at the school who told me that Syrian boy isn't that innocent, that he beats up girls. I've got a girl who's willing to come to court to say he beat her up with a weapon. Yeah, I've got a boy that witnessed him beat her up with a weapon. I've got another boy who's 2 years younger than him who he had in a headlock, and I've got all these things. Now I've also got another mother, and I've got all the messages who contacted me to tell me that Syrian boy also beat up her daughter. I've knocked on her door with a hidden camera. I've spoke to the mother who confirmed what she said. Yeah, but she has said to me she's too scared. She's too scared because she has to live in Huddersfield and it's controlled by heroin-selling Pakistani gangs. Yeah, she's too scared to come to court. So I put into the court my defence, which is truth, yeah, and public interest. Now, to prove truth, I have to have every person who has told me the story has to come to court. Yeah, to prove truth. Public interest. The judge just ruled I can't use public interest. I'm a journalist. If I was told something, it's in the public interest. They're being lied to. They're being told that, and this narrative and this story has been used. This story went on American news. Yeah, they called it a waterboarding. You got a bottle of water poured over it. They called it a waterboarding. They used the narrative. Poor victim refugee who's not white horrible English bully. That wasn't the story. It was a lie. So then I believe the public had an interest to know the alternative. Because of that, my legal fees currently right now are at £400,000. I just got off my solicitor today. £400,000. If I lose at the end of this trial, I get hit for over £1 million, which this has nothing to do with justice. Yeah, that their solicitors took 5 witness statements. They've put in a bill of £37,000, a skilled man's wage for a year to take 5 witness statements. Yeah. So this, I've got this coming up next Tuesday. We had 1 day in court last week. They put in a bill of £44,000. 1 day. Yeah. Now, what legal system or what justice system, and also the law that the solicitors that sent, I'm going to go on a rant because it's pissing me off.
No, get it out.
The solicitor that's took this case against me, he gave my children's home address on camera to an Antifa activist who then visited their home with 6 other men who made a video to murder my children. Yeah, I'm now in a position where up until this point, what I've said to the judges, I'm not giving that lawyer these 3 children's names and addresses. Yeah, who are my witnesses? I'll give them to you, the judge. And if you get rid of this law firm, I'll give them to any other law firm. But when I've seen the effect, and I talk about the effect because my children had to move home, they were scared. I've seen the effect of the young boy who poured the bottle of water over him. Yeah, that boy come and lived in Luton with us for 6 months because he had to leave his town. He tried to commit suicide on Christmas Eve. Yeah, so I've seen the effect it had on him as a child. I'm a father. I wouldn't want my daughter's name involved in this court case. So what I'm saying to the judge at the minute, which is we're at loggerheads at the minute, I'm saying I'm not giving that lawyer those kids' addresses because of what he's done with my kid's address. He gave it out to Antifa. So that's where I'm at. So when people are thinking, what's Tommy up to? I have been behind the scenes preparing and doing some investigative journalism, which is going to blow the lid. It's going to make Panorama look like nothing, yeah? But I've also been tied up for the last 6 bloody months. And I've had bail conditions. I just had my charges dropped on the case in Barrow. where I was on bail, and we all know if you commit another offence whilst on bail, they can pull you in. So I've been walking a tightrope for 6 months. I'm not anymore, which is why I'm going back up to Barrow this week. But that's where I'm at. I'm tied up with court cases, but at the same time, I'm excited because I'm going to produce a brilliant documentary on a big issue that needs talking about in our country. So I hope I went pretty red during that rant because I'm.
Yeah, we're going.
One of them. No. On a serious note,
So it's your show. Do what you want.
Yeah, anyone knows Tommy personally knows what he goes through, and even in that story there, I was with Tom at the time when we went up to see this family that had been impacted by this, and it's disgusting to see what the media allowed to, what they did. That people coming to the houses, threatening to bomb, firebomb. This was a beautiful family that were just ripped apart. It was disgusting.
The saddest thing, I go up to this town. This young boy is called a bully to the whole country, a racist bully. Yeah, he's only a child. He's only a child. Then I find a young girl who was beaten in school by the Syrian refugee, and she has been homeschooled for 2 years since this incident. And I go to her house, and I'm sitting with her, and she's I think she's autistic. She suffers from autism as well, I believe it. And I'm sitting with her, and she said she had a very hard time at school. Yeah, she used to get picked on quite a lot, and she said, "Do you know who stopped the kids picking on her? The boy that's accused of being a bully." She said it couldn't be further from the truth. The story that's being portrayed, that Syrian refugee, she said he is a horrible bully. And that other boy who put the bottle of water over him, he stood up to him. And so I don't regret it. I'm still in good contact with that family of the boy. Yeah, I don't regret telling that story. I don't care if they hit me in court for £500,000 or £1 million. I don't care if they bankrupt me on it. Yeah, I don't regret it because what I said was right. And you know what I said? The whole country had turned on this kid, and when I made my video saying this isn't true, yeah, it changed that kid's life situation because people then realised it's a lie. Yeah, we're being lied to. So I don't regret it one single bit. I don't care what happens in court. I am going to be going to court. You'll see all this all over the news in the coming weeks. But the story had to be told. The truth had to be told. And for telling that truth, they now want to financially destroy it.
Yeah, and it's never changes, Tom. I mean, we've seen this for the last few years. I mean, and like you're saying to Enrique, Tom's been doing it for a long time.
It's coming, mate.
It's coming, yeah. But let's just hope that the red hats in America. Let's hope that it all goes away. Enrique, I know you've been on for a while now, mate. I want to say a big thank you to you. You're very loved over in this country. You've got a lot of support. We're going to be following very closely. And like Tommy said, is there anything any of us can do to help what you guys are doing? Just to get hold of Tom, and I'm sure it will filter down, and we'll do anything we can. But thank you so much for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for giving me a voice. It's amazing that this stream has lasted.
I know. I'm getting banned. So
yeah. There's not Proud Boys running. That's why, Enrique. If it was us, we're gonna be all over the fucking place.
Yeah. Well, Vito, thank you for being on too. Vito's a great dude. We're down there in DC.
We've got more waiting, Danny.
Yeah,
I know. We're gonna get him on. We're gonna get him on. We're gonna get everyone on. Let these two guys
before you go. Oh, sorry, Tommy. Before you go, I'll let you know something. I was targeted. I'm not gonna say where I work at. You guys know where I work at. I'm not gonna say it online, but I got brought to HR because back when you got locked up, I want to tell you this really quick story. You probably already heard it before. Back when you got locked up for reporting on that case at the courthouse, I think it was back before the COVID shit happened.
Leeds.
I was watching it live stream. Like, what the fuck is this shit? This is bullshit. He's not even on the steps. I'm like freaking out at work in the factory. I'm like fucking yelling, walking at the random people. Like, you see this shit? You see this shit? So I got so enraged by that, and I wasn't even. I don't think I was in a Proud Boys at that point. I think you were the one who red pilled me and kind of got me like, whoa, what's going on in the world? I thought UK was about like punk rockers, mods, scooters, and fish and chips and football hooligans. I had no idea what was going on. So I decided I'm gonna make some stickers, bumper stickers, and see if I can have a couple guys throw a few bucks at me. I walked around the factory a little bit on my lunch break, collected a few bucks. I owe you $20, by the way. Sorry, I didn't get it to you last time when I was over there. I owe you $20 American. My bad. I put it on my locker, and I gave a couple guys put them on their high lows, their forklifts, whatever they put on their lockers. Someone reported me to HR for having this hate monger on my locker. I went to HR like a couple months ago, not last month, because the company I work for does not support the free Tommy movement. I'm like, what? I looked at the lady, my committee rep, my union rep's like, he looks at the lady at HR, he looks back at me, he's like, fuck are you talking about, lady? Huh? That guy?
He's a lefty.
That was a story. Sorry. Go ahead.
I appreciate it as well. And do you know what? Do you know what? Judge Marston, you sent me to jail, but in the process, you woke up millions probably around the world.
Millions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, let the two lads go. We're going to crack on with some power. Listen, Tom, thank you, brother. Enrique.
Thank you, Tommy. Tommy,
thank you, Tommy. Thanks, Enrique.
We need to get in contact with each other after this stream.
We'll get the details to you.
But
Zach's in touch with you on it, Zach?
Yeah. I'll send you his number, Enrique.
All right, cool.
Cheers,
all right,
boys.
guys. Love y'all.
Cheers, fellas.
Love you.
Love you, brother.
What a stream.
Oh, they don't stop talking. Jesus, those guys just fucking at it.
We've still got more waiting to come. Here we go.
Rob has been waiting.
Oh,
Freezing cold of the garage to speak. And I apologise, Rob, it's taking us so long. How you doing, dude?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm good, man.
Rob, anti-narrative.
Yo, what up, B-Dog?
What up, bro?
We got Red Moon.
Yo, what's up,
Oh, shoot.
That's a beard. That's a
beard on the water there.
We got the opening the credits, the Brady Bunch going on right now. We need two more.
Red man.
What's going on?
Zach wants me to show this. So
yeah. So this is a video that we've managed to obtain. We just want it explaining, if you could.
Oh no.
Make sure it loads. Oh yeah, it's loading. It's loading. Right. You ready? You might know. I couldn't get it. I tried to get it on.
To this.
Right. Listen to it.
Oh boy.
What's that about, lads?
You'll hear me right at the end of that yell, "I'm not gay." So,
what was it? What was it in support of the gay individuals that were there, or what?
Everything is a troll. It's a troll on somebody that said, Proud Boys are black, Proud Boys are white, the Mexican, we are gay. Somebody chopped that up, put it on a loop. It was over after that. And I walked away when they did that. I was not in there.
Listen, let's
see, Danny. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, what it is that when the left kind of figured out, oh man, these Proud Boys, they're a hate group, they're a far right wing, homophobic group, because we say things that are not politically correct. And there's gay guys in the group who will say the same things right back to us.
Yeah,
certain words I'm not going to repeat online, so that we don't get. I don't want to get you in trouble. But so we have gay guys in the group. The left think that we're this homophobic hate group, so they started doing these memes of like guys kissing or something. We're gonna get offended by that. We're like, we have gay members. Like my friends I have gay friends. Like, what do you? So that's where it kind of came from, as if to say, dude, we have gay guys in our club.
Yeah, and that would have been perfect because, like you say, you're smashing the narrative. They think you're homophobic. None of us are homophobic. I know you guys are. And it's actually just putting it straight in their faces and going, "What are you going to say now? We're going to say now." So it's perfect. But Zach, can you jump in? You got any questions for the guys?
I'm just going to say, has someone actually got the YouTube playing while they're talking? Because we got a mad echo going on here. I can hear an echo. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, little one.
Yeah, real rough.
Not sure. I don't know what's. I've got nothing loaded.
That's stopped. No, it hasn't.
I got nothing going.
Neither have I.
Is it better now?
Red.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's better.
There we go.
It must be.
Much better.
Yeah. There's something in Red's stream.
Still there slightly.
Is it?
But no,
Anyway.
It's been a fantastic show, guys. I've got to thank the lot of you, all of you, for your input on this. This has been brilliant.
That was my pleasure.
Someone turn your volume down, please.
Somebody's volume's down.
Okay, Red's going.
I think it's. But listen, I'm going to put it out there. We're gonna try our hardest now. I've got to give a shout out to Katie Hopkins. Spoke to her this evening. We did try and get her on for this, but she was unavailable. She was watching it tonight. Definitely watching Tom and Enrique. We're going to hopefully try and get her on because she spent a lot of time in America recently. She'll know a lot what's going on. We're gonna really, Zach. Listen, I've got to say, Zach and Jack are behind a lot of what's happened tonight. They've put a lot of hard work into everyone. So just want to say, big thank you to you, Zach. And I don't know where Jack's gone. Is he somewhere? Here he is. Here he is.
I fell out of it.
But yeah, no. Big
Red,
thank
thanks.
Big thank you to everyone. And listen, if you don't mind, we'll keep up to date with what's going on.
We'll do it again. We'll do this again.
Yeah. I mean, it's not over. Sure. When it's not over.
Stop, Red.
Come on, Red.
Stop.
You're killing me, Red.
I'd love to have a beer with this man. I bet he's so funny. Nah, listen, it's all in good fun. It's not an issue. But yeah, like I said, not over.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, Donny. Rob, I've got a question here. Is it your videos I keep seeing all over Telegram? Yeah, mate.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, so it's Rob's videos that I've used in the promo.
I can't believe that Rob understood what Jack just said.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Oh man, I can pick it up anytime, man. I got ears that can translate just about anything.
They can understand.
You're disavowed, man. You said the wrong.
Miley Cyrus.
No party for you. But yeah, I mean they we get there and they're so.
What's happened there?
What's going on there?
I think his audio's gone, Rob.
It's someone.
Yeah. We're slowly falling apart.
We are.
Rob.
This is what happens when you get more than 2 Proud Boys in a room.
Listen, put helium into the room.
Before the doors start going through with old Bill and everything, because it's all starting to get a bit weird here. Listen, let's leave it at that because I've got to go and spend some time with the missus. She's going to kill me.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again. Get yours back on. All yours back on.
Like I said, this is not over. This is not over. The US election's not over. Vito, yourself, and all your boys, we'd appreciate it if you could maybe come back on in a week or 2 weeks and just give us an update of what's going on, brother.
There's a lot of stories that wasn't told, so we've got to get through them.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Yes, we got.
That's the way us do things. Yeah, we'll just jump in the hand and hope for the best, don't we?
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Vito? Did you hear that?
Jack, I heard. Yes, sir. I heard that. There's a lot of shit going on. A lot of stuff coming up in the future, like very soon, like weekend. Like people are invigorated. They are on fire.
He's gone.
We're losing Vito as well.
What is going on?
Let's call it a night. Let's call it a night on a note. Listen, Jack, have you got any statements you want to give tonight?
I think Jack should do a statement.
No? Let me put it this way. Okay. What we've seen tonight, on a serious note, what we've seen tonight is complete unity across the board. And that is so vitally important moving forward. All of these people that are having rows with each other, that are falling out, there are some right reasons, and there are some, from some real far right idiots that are out there but let's all just try and calm ourselves down. Let's try and unify ourselves. Let's try and get as a unit, and let's move forward with the things that are very important, which Tommy and Enrique have discussed tonight. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming on, everyone.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate everyone.
Thank you, Danny.
And can you please make sure that you like and subscribe and share? And much love to all the Proud Boys, and I'll see you all soon. Zach, Jack.
Thanks, guys.
Love you, boys.
Thanks a lot.
Jack, Danny, thank you, guys.
See you later, lads.